met, and welcome to Severed Threads, Notes from the Black Ballad. So happy to be here, so happy to see you here. Very excited about tonight's game. This is our second broadcast, and, well, I think we should jump right into it. But before we do, I must thank our sponsors for tonight, Storytellers Forge, the writers and providers of this amazing book, and also Diamorte. The music that you are currently hearing has been written by them. And if you enjoy this art, then you have Kai to thank for it, as we all do and have done profusely, because it is amazing. There will be links to Kai and links to Diamorte and links to Storytellers Forge in the chat. Have a look at it and check them out. And once again, thank you all. Now, we will introduce our players, beginning, I think, with Ryan.
Hello there, my name is Ryan. I am playing the character of Ak, and I'm an actor fight director.
The J is silent.
The J is silent. I'm an actor fight director with the Ohio Shakespeare Festival and a leather maker on Etsy, Buckle and Rose.
Indeed, Buckle and Rose at Etsy. And what is the tagline?
Wear your fiction.
Indeed. Now moving on to Tess.
Hi, I'm Tess. I'm playing Wynn, who is a loving call out to my beloved dog who is no longer with me, named Winter. And I am a mom of two beautiful little gremlins, and I also work at the Ohio Shakespeare Festival and do most of the social media stuff. So follow our Insta and our Facebook to see what work I do.
I think I hear one of those gremlins, or is that your cat?
That's a cat.
No, that is definitely...
Is that your cat?
Is it really?
That's a cat
What
for sure. That's a cat.
Welcome though to my life where you go, is the baby crying or is that a cat?
Otherwise known as a child mimic.
The cat is welcome to make an appearance on screen if they're around. Moving on to Soku.
Hi, I am Soku, and I'm playing Dusk. I am excited to continue our very sad journey. And other than that, I check out World of Tanks. It's awesome. I work on it.
Samus.
My name is Samus. I play Niall, the arcane trickster rogue. I am an opera singer by trade and a nonprofit fundraiser, and I am also a part of a D&D podcast called Echoes of Kryn with our lovely DM Sean.
Oh, so nice of you to say. Yes, indeed. I also DM the Dragonlance actual play known as Echoes of Kryn. If you enjoy listening to actual plays, you can find it on Podbean or I think just about every podcasting app that is out there. Echoes of Kryn, Dragons of the Hidden Flood. We have a lot of fun making that, like we have fun making this. And last but not least, Jessie.
I am Jessie. I am an accountant and a mom to a tiny chaos human, and I spend a lot of my free time playing D&D because it's fun.
And here's an interesting fact about Jessie. She does spend a lot of her time playing D&D, but this is the only game that she has deigned to grace with her presence for streaming. And we're very grateful for that.
Facts.
Awesome. Well now, I think it is time. Without any further ado, my friends, I extend my hand, inviting you to step with me into fantasy. Release your hold on that which you know to be true, and let imagination rule for the next few hours. Last time, the adventurers found themselves deep in the catacombs under Castle Never in the city of Neverwinter, where they were looking for the crown of Alangandar, which they found. However, it was being guarded or being absorbed by a massive abomination, an aboleth, a bizarre lamprey-like creature with tentacles and deep psychic strengths, which it used to the best of its ability to corrupt and destroy the adventurers. However, they managed, through impressive teamwork, I must say, and also some very fortunate rolls, to survive. However, as they gathered the crown and brought it back to Lord Dagalt Neverember, Lord Protector of Neverwinter, they discovered that his interest in recovering the crown was not for the crown itself. He wanted no one to ever be able to find it, because he wants to retain control over the city of Neverwinter. He has no interest in restoring the Alangandar line, and therefore he was going to keep the crown and no one could know that it had been found. And this trusted and maybe even affectionately regarded ruler poisoned the adventurers as one by one they succumbed and died.
Still
Only
totally bitter.
Yeah.
yeah, no, they're not upset about that at all. At the point where everything went black, there was light, and they found themselves in a strange place. Remind you all of what you see. There is a vast field stretching out in all directions as far as your eye can see. It is made up of golden wheat and grass that is covered with a white powdery ash that falls slowly from the sky like snow flurries. In the sky itself is a roiling maelstrom of purple energy and lightning that lights up the sky violently, but there is no sound, just the spectacle. They encountered a strange individual named Johann Morrow, who called himself a shepherd, and revealed to the adventurers that they are indeed dead. And that is where we pick up. I would like to go through the group again, and this time describe your characters, what you look like. And remember, as I spoke to you between last session and this session, being dead, you have very few items with you. Only the items that you have a close personal attachment to. No more than 5, not including clothing. So, if we would start with Soku, I think. Soku, can you describe what Dusk appears like as she is standing here in the middle of the Sunless Crossing with her companions, trying to come to grips with the fact that she is no longer alive?
So Dusk is a dark teal tiefling. She has high standing horns and long teal hair that is braided to her side. From one ear hangs a long earring with a gold diamond at the end. And she is dressed in a dark black with silver vertical stripes dress and a mantle that has been fashioned into a matching cloak. Do you want the name of the items as I'm naming them?
Only if they are visible on your person. You
Okay.
need to tell me what all you have.
So, the mantle and another necklace that hangs off in kind of like right under the collarbone. On her wrist, there is a very bent and scratched up gold bracelet that has a watermelon tourmaline in it, which is a gemstone that goes from pink to green. And that's what she looks like. Oh, I'm sorry, her sclera are black and she has these glowing gold eyes.
Thank you very much. Now, Dusk's sister, Dawn.
I am Dawn. I am Dusk's twin sister, but the only feature that we share in common is our black eyes. I am a pale pink tiefling with short magenta hair and curling horns. I am wearing very simple clothes of kind of pale gray. I also have a long drop earring, but however mine has a more turquoise aquamarine style stone in it. There is a tattoo on the side of my face that is a similar color to my sister's skin.
Mine is pink too. contrast my sisters.
I have around my neck a symbol to my god Azuth, and on my hip is a stone that is hanging off that looks like a cat's head. It's my luck stone. You also see that I am clutching in my hand a book that you guys have all seen with me very many times. It's a small book of children's fables that I've had for as long as I can remember, and has lots of things written in the margins. And yeah, that's what Dawn looks like.
Very nice. Win.
Wynn is a half-elf female paladin, and she is... Zelda... Shh, love you. Yeah, that is the most beautiful unicorn. I'm so sorry. One second.
Cutest little nugget.
Wynn is... I'll start again. Wynn is a half-elf paladin, a lady of a certain age. She is, while she is half-elf, her age is not as easily betrayed as if she were fully human, but it is clear that she is in the past the maiden and mother stage of life and into crone, which is something that she does not, as a good thing, actually. She has the wisdom of that and the seriousness of that. She has black hair pulled up in a very severe ponytail, and she also has white and gray streaks going through it. Really dramatic black eyeliner and no other makeup. She wears her armor unless she can't for some reason, either to sleep or to go into a situation where you wouldn't be allowed to wear it. Otherwise, you see her in her mail. Quite serious, except when she is screwing around with Yak.
Very nice. Speaking of Yak, can we have, or Ak, as you described yourself, can we have Ak, please?
But of course, Jakku is the exact antithesis of Windtear's severity. You see before you, actually 2 feet tall, packed full of cute, a fairy male who looks not dissimilar to Jareth from the Labyrinth for no particular reason. He has on his hip a small drum. Strapped across his back is what appears to be some sort of stringed guitar. To the knowing eye, this looks to be a lute, but it would be a bandor, which is sort of the bass guitar of lutes, because I like it to slap at the bass. So, and then on top of that, he has some pieces of armor about him, but they seem to have almost sort of a shimmering effect, similar to his very pearlescent fairy wings that seem to both like flicker and glitter at the same time as he flutters about the place. The very peak of insincerity.
Very cool. And last but not least, we have Niall, who for the last 10 levels has been a wolf. What does he look like now?
So, Niall is an olive-skinned human in my late 40s. I stand at about 6 feet tall. I have a very lithe build, and I carry myself with a rather regal posture. My long black hair is pulled back with little wisps of gray poking out at the front. I have a very closely cropped beard and a mustache that curls up on the sides. I have a very involved pattern tattoo that encircles my left eye and a dagger tattoo that pierces my right eye. My dress is very noble. I have a black silk shirt, a very fitted leather vest that hugs my chest tightly, and a black bow tie. And I'm very overly manicured, but if you look closely, you'll see that my hands bear cuts and scars and burn marks. My emerald-colored eyes look through a pair of pince-nez glasses that rest on the tip of my nose, and every time I focus through them, my brow furrows and you see me scowl a little bit. there is a black whip with glowing blue spikes that rests at my hip by my right hand, and on that right hand is an odd little ring whose gem looks a little bit like a brain.
All right. Excellent. And you are, of course, accompanied by this strange fellow who walked towards you out of this plane, this robed and skeletal Johann Marrow. He has a simple, gnarled walking staff and a wide-brim hat, and is, as far as you can tell, completely a skeleton underneath his clothing. It all hangs on him very loosely because there's no flesh to fill it out. And he has introduced himself and has looked at you all, and now, as thousands upon thousands, if not millions of DMs have said before me, what do you do?
Can I look at Niall and kind of nose up, almost kind of like a sneer? So when were you going to reveal yourself?
Can we all look at Niall?
Yeah, what'd you do with baloney?
First of all, don't call me that again. Second of all, I was cursed. I did not have the gift of speech. I tried in many various ways to communicate my plight, but all of you were far too ignorant to translate. Now that I'm dead, I'm bipedal again, and I'm actually quite grateful for it.
Well, happens to the best of us. Where's Baloney?
I will turn my gaze away from you, and I will look at Johann. Good sir, what are we doing here?
Well, as I said, you're dead. You have passed on, and, well, this is where you go when that happens. I imagine you have questions, and I'll be happy to answer them. I must say you're rather fortunate to be in this form. I myself, I died as you see me here, which is why I take the form that I do. I find it bizarre that you are here in the form that you, other than how you died. Some strange magic involved. But
You
I
say
suppose
this
it doesn't matter in the end.
You say this is where everyone comes? Everyone who dies?
Well, perhaps not everyone. Let me think here. How best to describe it? Long ago, many centuries, I was a riverboat captain, and where the land is next to the water, what is that called again?
Beach?
The shore?
Shore. That's the word. Shore.
I was unsure.
And yes, and at the shore there is a thing that sticks out into the water where the boats come to
Dock?
carry people away. A dock, yes, a dock, exactly.
I think he's beyond medical help.
This is a sort of a dock or a waiting area of sorts for people who have the potential to be resurrected.
Johann,
So,
may I just one second?
please, yes.
And Jake very carefully takes Johann's arm and kind of moves it in front of Niall's nose.
Hey,
Does it do anything for you? I'm just.
No, that's rude.
that's
That is so
wrong with
rude
you?
to both of them.
I asked. Does this do anything for you? Yeah.
not particularly.
I
No,
think
not-
he's talking to not. Sorry, what was your name?
My name is Niall.
Yeah, he's definitely not baloney.
You'll
There's
have to
baloney.
forgive their manners, Johann.
Niall.
I was a wolf for many months.
Niall.
I think he's in denial.
You look more like a Thaddeus.
You do look like a
It's
Thaddeus.
certainly better than baloney.
Well, you really okay. You have to. It was this because of the sandwich.
I understand what it was because of. You understand how much necrotic energy is required to turn perfectly viable protein into that congealed unholy mass. I am nothing like baloney, and I will not be referred to as such. Is that understood? Thank you.
Sure.
Got
What's
my
your last
eyes.
name again?
Caldwell. Niall Phelan
You
Caldwell.
sound very fancy.
Compared to you, I suppose I am.
Hey, I'm from a very respectable middle-class merchant family.
Good, act like it. Johann, if somebody were to have died,
Is there any
Where
relation
can
to
we
Clyde
find them?
Caldwell?
I'm sorry, what?
Nothing.
Okay.
Oh my god.
I am low-key looking for a stabbing apparatus on me.
Well, is it one of your 5 items?
I get out my wand.
I'm going to try. Like, does Niall seem like he legitimately dislikes us and he was just stuck with us forever?
That is not a question I can answer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm doing like a vibe check on him. I'm trying to feel like whether or not
So-
this is just like a front he's putting on, or if he like legitimately dislikes us.
That sounds like you want to make an insight check,
Yeah.
so
I
go ahead
do.
and roll it.
Yeah. Doc is
Well, wait a minute,
immediately
are you
over your
give- are
shoulder,
you-
Don, like,
I'm doing
Are
a
you
regular
making an-
insight check because I'm not trying to figure out your.
A
I'm
regular
just trying to
ins-
figure out whether or not you hate us as a group. I rolled a 32.
Literally reads your mind.
I'm doing a regular insight check because I'm not even thinking
With-
about using my magic right now because I'm just like,
With a
does he hate me?
32.
Dawn is aware of the vibe of the entire Sun
How-
crossing.
How does one get to a 32 on the roll of a dice?
I rolled a 19 and I have a plus 13 to my insight
Why do you have a plus 13 to your insight?
because I have proficiency and expertise in my insight. Because
Very
I
good.
went and took skill expert as one of my feats.
Very nice.
I will.
Is
go ahead.
being insightful something that you are very good at? I'm asking
yeah.
for
Yes.
the people watching.
Because of my cleric subclass in regret, I'm very attuned to people's emotions and other people's kind of vibe and what they got going on. So I decided that I needed to focus on insight. So that's
Indeed.
why I
If anybody's
powered into that.
If anybody's wondering, yes, indeed, a cleric of insight, which is one of the new domains in the Black Ballad book that we are currently playing.
Yeah.
All sorts of
I will-
interesting spells and abilities that I'm sure will come into play later.
I will not even try to roll a deception check. But I will say, with that level of insight, there's something almost automated in the way that I responded, in a way that made you think that it wasn't personal. It was almost mechanical, as if like there was something very cultivated about this response that really doesn't have much to do with you, or maybe it does, but it's almost as if my mouth was speaking for me, if that makes any sense.
That sounds
Yeah.
like exactly the sort of thing that a 32 insight check would allow somebody to know.
With that, Dawn's gonna just like put her hand on your shoulder and be like, "It's okay. This is stressful for all of us."
Don't touch me.
Stressful, yes, indeed. Many souls find that to be the case. In fact, most of them do. And I have to say, it is strange. You understand that you are dead. It usually takes a while, but you all seem to be handling it quite well. Relatively speaking, I suppose. Yes, I see you. There's no need to raise hands, but thank you, yes.
Oh, that's sorry. That's all right. Anyway, so does that mean we're going to go all, no offense, bones and corpseified like yourself?
Oh, no need to fear that. I have just suffered from a mild bit of curse.
Oh,
It took some getting used to, but I got used to it long ago, I assure you. So, no need to worry. You will retain this form or whatever form that you decide upon, depending on how long you end up being here. But that is perhaps a conversation for another time. But to answer your question, Miss Weir, indeed, this is a resting place. You have, let's see how to put it. You're here. You're here on the Sunless Crossing, but you have not yet arrived. That makes sense.
What do we need to do to arrive?
This is a place between places.
Yeah, just so. A place between places.
Mm.
Imagine, if you will, and let us walk as we talk, shall we?
Of course.
And he begins to
You wanna go for
set
a walk?
a steady gait.
Jack, stop it. He's already
Watch it.
angry enough. What are you doing?
This is how I'm knowing that he's baloney. Otherwise, he wouldn't be so mad all the time. Look, trust me. He used to growl the same way every time I used to come near him.
When do
Just
you still have the backpack that we could stick him in?
Please tell me you lost the backpack. If there's any justice in the realms here and beyond, our deaths have cost us the backpack.
I don't have the backpack, okay, Jack?
Yes!
God
Oh.
We will make sure to get one soon.
Wait, what?
Johan,
Yes.
let me cut to the chase. Wynn lost someone several years ago. Is there any way for her to reconnect to that person here?
Ah, well.
You see her bristle hard, but she doesn't interrupt.
What may or may not be possible is not necessarily for me to say. As I said, this place is for those souls that have the potential to be resurrected. Imagine, if you will, how chaotic it would be if all the souls that died went to their eternal rests, and then those that were resurrected were yanked back. And that would be very jarring, could have some negative effects on the soul's psyche, for want of a better term.
What determines that?
The inherent power that usually an individual might have. That being the case, now that I say it, there have been souls here that have certainly not had the same sort of, potential that I sense in all of you. So I suppose the only way I could answer that question is I do not know, but there are no doubt those who do.
You keep saying potential. Potential for resurrection or potential for something else? You're saying you sense
potential resurrection, but I was referring to, I sense a connection to powers and magics and that sort of thing. I'm a shepherd of the Ashen Fields, and I have a nose for these sort of things. Well, I have a sense, to say. I suppose it's just come from long years of experience, but yes, you all seem to be a little more, I don't know, strong?
I mean, I'm pretty weak physically, but
I mean,
Me
not
too.
physically. Strong as in strong in faith, conviction. The bond between this group is certainly strong for you all to have arrived together as you have.
Well, there.
Don, can you manage to do anything?
Do anything? Well, we're walking.
What, Don? I mean, like, is there something you can test to see if we still can do our stuff? I unfortunately don't.
I'm gonna cast light on my earring.
How does that look?
I'm just gonna take a deep breath and like touch my symbol, and then all of a sudden the light is just gonna pulse for a second, and until it like just brightens up and just kind of does a light pink hue surrounding us.
Very nice. Yes, indeed, it does work. And light illuminates this area, casting a nimbus of glow around the group as you trudge through the Ashen Fields.
Okay, so we're at least still capable.
Yeah. So we still have our abilities and everything here?
But
Like, we're us? It's the same?
Well, for the most part, yes. But there will be some differences, you understand.
So if this is a place in between places, where is the next place to go?
Aha! Well, that is definitely a question I cannot answer. Well, the answer to that lies, it lies yonder, and we should make our way there. As I said, I am an Ashen Shepherd, so I do hope you'll forgive me if I shepherd you.
Can we be hurt here? Are we vulnerable, or is there some sort of resistance that we have being a dead person?
Oh, yes, you can, well, I don't know, hurt. Yeah, it has a variety of meanings, but yes, you can suffer harm, and in fact, you can be destroyed. But you will reappear the next day, just as you did today, a drop of golden light that falls from the sky. And
Fascinating.
but you should try to avoid having it happen too many times. The more it happens, the more likely you are to unravel. That is a fate I would not wish on anyone.
Does that mean that our corpses are still where we last remember being?
Hey, that's another thing. You all remember your deaths with startling clarity. That is not usual, I must say.
It was slow, and there was a monologue.
Ugh.
Ah, yes, indeed. I have been accused of monologuing myself. Do stop me if it gets too annoying.
You have a very calming voice.
Oh, thank you. Your voice is lovely as well.
It's like molasses pouring out your mouth.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, can we go back to a second? Did you say unraveling?
Well, yes.
Just
I
bring in
wouldn't worry about it too much. There are, of course, threats here. It is a protected place, this land, the Sunless Crossing, but being between places, it does attract a certain level of vile things from across the multiverse. Particularly powerful undead, fiends, wizards, necromancers, and priests of particular power. Not easy to get here, not being dead, mind, but possible. I pity those who try and fail.
How long is it going to take to get where we're going?
Well, time. We'll have to make a few stops, but I love to talk with my wards as we are traveling. I hope you don't mind. Get to know you all a little bit better. For example, here's a good one. Do any of you have a nemesis?
A nemesis.
Well, the man who killed us.
I mean, he's definitely on top of the list right now.
I mean, he helped us so much as children.
Yeah,
I
help us
do
to
not
die.
care.
No, as children, I said, Jack. And then, he's known us since we were little.
And the fact that he was able to still do this to us.
And he watched it happen. He
Exactly.
watched us die.
I cannot.
Any other happy questions you'd like to ask?
Yeah,
us,
that one
Yohan?
wasn't so successful. Let's see.
Ooh, slime. Slime is a
Oh.
nemesis. We fought a lot of slime.
I hate it.
So
Nothing
much goo.
ruins my hair faster than slime. It's just the worst.
I feel like our only death situations always involved slime in some way.
Well, I suppose slime's here, but I don't know that there are that many. The
That's good.
region of the Sunless Crossing is ruled by the city of Knoxville. Well, actually, ruled by a group of individuals known as the Godless Monarchy that live in the city of Knoxville, and that is our eventual destination. There are gateways there that lead to every afterlife. So that is getting on the boat and going down the river, as it were. But well, that's for the future. Here and now, we're just enjoying a walk through the ashen fields.
So if somebody knew somebody who had previously passed and they were hoping to find that person, that is more likely where they would find once we make our way through one of the gateways? Or could they be wandering
I see
around?
what you're
in
saying.
in
A
this
specific soul that has passed on. Ah, yes. I suppose.
And do we have executive control over where it is we go afterwards?
Good question.
No. You have an encounter, so to speak. You present yourself to a group of individuals who will help you with that decision. You don't have total autonomy. Your life and your beliefs and a great many other things do play a factor, but you shouldn't worry about being cheated. It is a very fair and equitable process, so I'm told. I have not undergone it myself.
You call
Why?
Yeah.
Why?
Why are you still here?
Well, so when I arrived here, long ago, I suppose there had some sort of potential for being resurrected, but never came. I wandered for a century, and when it was clear that there wasn't any chance that I was going to be resurrected, the powers that be, this godless monarchy, and those that work for them, offered me a position as an Ashen Shepherd, since I had caused no trouble while I was wandering, and I accepted it. And I must say that I have enjoyed it. I find it a fine occupation.
What changes the tide? Why are you capable of resurrection for 100 years and then not?
Oh, well, I suppose my body must have disintegrated, or perhaps those that knew me all passed on. I have no idea. I suppose there is an off chance that I could still be resurrected, but I have lost hope. And, well, frankly, I don't know what I'd do. I've grown so accustomed to here. But
Why haven't you chosen to go on?
Oh, well, it can take a long time to meet with the powers. They're busy.
So is it sort of a take a number sort of situation?
Exactly, just so, a number. That will all become clear, but it is indeed a long and lengthy waiting process. But all this time, as you've been walking, he's clear, he's moving with a relaxed gait, but he's definitely moving in a very straight and specific line.
No, you called them the godless monarchy?
Mm-hmm.
Do they have a bias against people who believe in gods?
Oh, not at all, not at all. No bias at all. Wonderful, wonderful people. Ashlyn, and Valen Jade. Excellent, excellent sort of individuals. Not that we're on speaking terms, but I have nothing but high praise for them. Anyway, he continues to walk forward. Seems thinking a lot about what you have said. Do any of you have anything else that you wish to ask him or talk to each other about?
Well, I'll be honest. Niall is your name.
Yes.
That's gonna get. That's. It just doesn't sound. Anyway.
You'll adjust.
You mentioned you were cursed. Given the fact that you are now
Oh, sorry, not talking to me. Never
no
mind.
longer cursed, what, if any, were the specifics of the deal? How did you come to be a dog? And how did you come to be a dog in our company? I'm intrigued, also a little hurt.
We found him in a pit with sheep.
No, I know that, but how?
Why did you choose to keep with us?
Right? Like,
There was a woman.
say no more.
Old.
There it is. All right.
No.
Oh.
Shush. Listen. My family deals art. They are a very noble, very wealthy line of art dealers. I was, being the second-born son, considered less than nothing. I was sent to the lower city to do dealings with the shops there, while my older brother carried the lineage, so to speak. So I worked with traders in the lower city, and one such trader was an old woman who had a shop that bizarrely seemed to change locations. I could never find her, but she had interesting knickknacks, and we chose to invest in her shop. Until people started complaining about the scent that emerged from the things she was creating, and so we told her we were divesting, and she begged me to reconsider. I refused her. She told me there was no love in my heart, and snapped her fingers, and I awoke in the forest, in the form that you knew me. I tried to come back to Baldur's Gate. I snuck my way into the upper city, and I found my brother. Seeing a wolf in the upper city is not something that people frequent. My brother was the reason that I was bloodied and beaten. I crawled my way out, and I fell into that pit where you found me. As to why I stayed, survival. I am a wolf, but I did not have a wolf's cunning. I wasn't able to run around and hunt for meals. I was with you because it was convenient to do so. Now that we're here stuck, I suppose the same will be true.
Could I roll an insight check to see how truthful I find that last chunk of information?
Of course.
20, dirty 20.
I'll roll just to see how much,
All right.
how much you get
Gotta
out
roll
of
a
me.
deception. Oh.
That's a 9.
Tell us your secrets.
Oh, God.
You know that I'm uncomfortable. You know that talking about being around people is not something that comes easily to me. I think that's all because I don't think that I truly know either. So you see a lot of confusion in the way that I'm carrying myself with my answers, but you think I would say that you think that I think I'm being truthful.
You know, Niall, you have more in common with Dusk and I than you think you do.
Johann
tell.
suddenly stops moving. He's clearly been paying attention to everything that you have said, but he stops very suddenly. And his head swivels to the left and to the right, and then back again, and he says, "Shh." And he reaches down and he puts his hand on the grass that is covered with ash in front of him, and picks up a small amount of it and lets it go, and watches as it floats not down but to the side as if being carried by a breeze. He watches it go, and then he turns in the direction that the wind blew it. He looks, and then he points. And you see, off in the distance, something that has broken the horizon. What you see is a large black cloud of ash that is first whipping to the left and whipping to the right, and then back and forth until it begins to form a cyclone, rising up from the ground and then spreading out, blotting out the maelstrom above you. From the look of it, it is moving extremely quickly, and it is very large. It is a threat, clearly a threat, and
Yeah,
Johann,
this is bad. This is bad, right? Right?
you watch as more and more of this ash is being sucked in, and then watch as the grass actually begins to bend towards it. And you could see that even as you're watching this, more pillars are beginning to form randomly in the area. Johan turns to you and then turns away and yells, "Run!" As this swirling whirlwind begins to go back and forth. It streaks across the land in random directions, chaotically, at a very alarming space. He takes off at a sprint. He's pointing with his staff towards a thicket of trees in the distance. They have red and golden leaves. And he yells out, "If any of you have any way of getting us there faster, I suggest you do it, or perhaps a way for us to take cover. If not, then move your feet." And he begins to pelt along the ground as quickly as he can. We're going to roll some initiative here, my friend. Oh, jeez.
Well, the first roll of the day, 1. Very on brand for me.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Samus.
It's par for the course. Total of 6.
Alrighty. Wait a moment, and I'll call for everybody.
Lovely.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay. So, I have quite a few of you up here. Let's clear out some of these first. In fact, we're going to start over again with initiative just to make it simpler. Dawn, could you tell me what you have rolled?
14.
14, thank you. Dusk, what have you rolled?
17.
A 17, thank you. Win, what have you rolled? Win?
You're muted.
You're muted, my dear.
I clicked it 4 times and now it's here. I rolled a critical 20, which gave me a 23.
23, awesome. And then Jack, or Ak, or Yakwa, whatever you're going by these days.
Q has rolled a 22.
The J
and the A.
is silent.
Silent. Nice.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So, Wind at a 23, Dawn at a 14, Dusk at a 17, Yak at a 22. Nile, what did you roll?
A 6.
A 6.
Niall.
Lovely.
Oh, God, I love you all so much. All right. Nobody
Awesome.
move. I got this.
So, as the wind begins to move towards you, you can see, as I said, more and more begin to appear. And it seems clear that unless you are able to do something to increase your speed dramatically, you will be overrun by these.
Well, is it my turn?
It is indeed. What would you like to do?
Don't worry.
How nice of you to ask. Yes, it is in fact your turn. Go right ahead.
Yeah.
I'm going to cast Find Steed.
Ooh. I would love to have you cast Find Steed. Can you think of a reason for why the 10-minute cast would not be
Oh, dear.
in effect?
God, do not take that.
Because I want it really bad.
I want it really badly for you.
Oh my God.
Make me an
No.
offer. No, yeah, okay. Right.
She stands there in the field
I
like
started
Link
it
and
9 minutes and 45 seconds.
Just like you knew that the walking was just
I
too
just was
much. work.
tired.
Yeah. So can't let you cast that 10-minute casting time.
No, I
right.
did not clock that part of it. And a question, just a game mechanic question. If you can fly, it's not faster, you're just above the ground, correct?
Correct.
Like if
Who are you asking?
me, for me, like I have boots I have winged boots, so I could fly, but it's not going to make me any faster, right?
It might. Let's take a look at the item.
It says it's my moving speed, so it's
Well, yes, then there's your answer. It would be your moving speed.
All right, well then I'm going to cast Misty Step as far forward as I possibly can.
All right, you cast Misty Step 30 feet further ahead. Johan is now behind you. You now have your movement and your action.
I will dash.
All right, you take off, running as quickly as you can, I assume towards the copse of trees that Johan pointed out.
Absolutely.
All right, that's going to bring us to Jack.
We ride! And he goes ahead and conjures animal. I have summoned 4 war horses. I'm going to go ahead and put 1 in front of each of my human friends. And I'm just going to go ahead and be like, saddle up, buckaroos. We're out of here. As you see these sort of steeds kind of erupt from the ground, the ash themselves sort of building it up as they each sort of assemble in this like cloud of puff and smoke. The last thing coming together are their eyes, which sort of flash this brilliant purple as they suddenly come to, and then each and every one of them, like the waterfall of horses that get summoned in the Lord of the Rings, like neigh in unison. And he's like, yeah, that's right, horsefly.
At least it's not dolphins. All right, yes, the amazing spell that you've just cast, summoning 4 beautiful steeds out of the ash. These are, of course, fey spirits that take the form of horses. And they all come running and following your directions, I assume, running right next to the various people that you happen to go next to.
Absolutely.
And trot alongside.
These horses
nickering.
have a movement speed of 60 feet, friends, which means when they dash, you can go up to 120. So,
Right. So I can't help but notice that you didn't summon one for Johan.
You said 5. I heard 5.
I technically look. I'm limited to only 4. Also, he like works here, so I thought he had like a. I'm so sorry.
Can we double
I
now?
can pick him up. I can pick. Yeah, I was gonna say I can pick. I would imagine he's probably on the lighter side, so I can probably grab him by, by the shoulder blade and lift him onto the horse as I pass him.
In the Lord of the
thing.
Rings vein, I imagine when Legolas grabs onto Gimli's
Oh,
horse.
yes! Just sense the horse coming behind you and you... I love it. So we're going to have these have their own initiative, Jack.
Love that.
Can you roll a d20 for me, please?
Will do. That is a 14 on the die, and they have a dex of 1, so 15.
15 total. Very good. So it will take all of you half of your movement to mount, but then when the horse's turn comes, you will go however fast they go.
You heard it here first, kids. It's half your movement.
All right, that is going to bring us to dusk. Unless I assume, Yak, as your action is done, you move.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
All right.
So Yak is going to go ahead and take off as 1, 2, 3, 4 of his friends all have a horse, and he will just fly. So
Very good.
And then I will also use my Fey ability to then Misty Step bonus action, and then fly. So you see me in a puff of owl feathers and this sort of, again, purple electricity just.
So I hate to be that guy, but I do believe that your Fey ability does still require that you cast the spell, and you have already cast a leveled spell this round.
Oh, even though it's a feature.
I think it does still say it allows you to cast the spell. I could be wrong. Let's
No. I hear you, and I know that you're just.
I know the Eladrin have a Phase Step feature instead of a Misty Step.
Right.
The question is which one do you
It's
have?
not that. Yeah, it is definitely casting the spell, Misty Step.
Yeah.
Which means that it still falls under the rules of casting a spell, which means conjuring animals is the spell you cast. You're not able to cast Misty Step.
Guess I'll
this
help
round.
everybody else.
Yes, by the end of this round, actually, you're going to see them all moving far ahead of you, since you still have to fly your speed, and the horses will be able to dash. So you watch everybody fly away.
Remember this the next time we're drinking.
That's going to bring us to dusk.
Can I? So half of my movement is to get on the horse.
It's this ash-covered horse that as it runs, the ash begins to fall off it more and more, leaving a trail behind it. It looks at you...
Like a smoky horse.
Exactly, like a smoky horse with these
All
coal
in
black
ash.
eyes. It looks at you and goes, that was terrible. But
Goat.
that's how it sounds. It's the one thing that Jack
a
got
demonic
wrong.
horse.
Jack's face spirit's perfectly horse-like in every way, except it looks at you and goes,
Here's the question.
quite figured it out yet.
On purpose
That's
or
on
by
brand.
accident? Did Jack
I
mess
leave
it
it
up
to you
or
to
did
decide.
Jack do it on purpose to make his
I leave it for
horse
you to
sound like a
Oh,
goat?
he did it on purpose.
Very
he
good.
did, yeah.
So,
So I'm on the horse. Can I grab Q on my way?
grab Q.
Jack.
Yeah, Q.
Oh, of course.
Jack
It's
Q.
pronounced
Yeah.
jaw.
Yeah, I will allow it. Use half your movement to get on your horse.
Yeah.
You use your action essentially to do a grapple, which I'm
Yeah.
going to assume that Jack does not
Contest.
not contest. So you just yank him by his wings and pull him.
Yeah,
onto the
she's
horse
not
with you.
very gentle with that. She just grabs whatever she can manage.
Right. Yes, and Jack is now. He probably doesn't even have to. He's small enough that he doesn't even have to be on the horse with you. Just holding onto his legs as he's just going out behind you.
I'll be kind enough and put him in front of me, so that he can
Alright.
at least hold on to the mane or something.
So that is your half your movement and your action. Anything else?
So I have to wait. In the horse's turn is when they dash, right?
Correct.
Okay, great. So Jack, you're on the horse with me. I just grabbed you, yanked you, and put you on the horse in front of me.
I'm well aware. I consent.
So that is Dusk's turn. That is going to bring us to the horses. Of course, the horses are not going to take off without their riders. So all of the horses except for Dusk's move on this turn to where you are on the field.
Can
And
the
they're
horse
going to be holding their action.
dash when they get their riders?
Of course.
Brilliant.
Absolutely. So that would be what they do on their turn. Yours, Dusk, carries you and Yak or Jakwe or whatever you're referring to.
Jacuz.
Shakuz.
Jack, how hard is that?
120 feet.
Wow.
Well outpacing everybody else far in the distance. That is the horse's turn. Brings us to Dawn.
I'm gonna hop on a horse.
You hop on a horse.
And then how close? So the only people still near me would be like Wynn is still probably fairly gonna be pretty close because she was
Yeah.
running, and our buddy Johan and Niall are.
She's
misty-
90
missed.
feet away.
Okay.
She misty stepped and then dashed, so she's 90 feet away. You'll be, because of the held action, because of the work, you'll actually be behind her in the scheme of the run.
Okay.
Yeah, probably grab Johan. If you can.
Yeah.
Was it Niall trying to grab him?
I will.
Oh, you will? Okay,
Niall said
sorry.
he was gonna
Yeah,
grab him.
Okay, sorry.
You
Yeah.
have to shout quite loudly to be heard over the whistling wind
Yeah, as I'm-
by this point.
As I'm riding like Pippin and friggin' Eowyn over here, it's like, I think Niall said he was gonna grab him!
Okay.
Okay, then assuming Niall's gonna grab him, I'm just going to let my horse carry me away when it's his turn.
Alrighty, so
Or no, I guess
held
he
action of
dashes.
the-
Yeah.
Yeah, held action of the horse dashes, moves 60 feet. It's gonna bring us to Niall.
All right. I will also hop on a horse and using half of my movement, and I will cast Mage Hand to help lift Johan up. I'll grab his clavicle with my left hand, and I'll use my Mage Hand to assist in the lifting of his bones onto my horse.
Very nice.
And,
Handy spell.
Yes,
and I will. And off I will launch.
kill you, Ryan. Yes, indeed. Johan.
Yeah, you killed us already, Sean.
Figure out a way to do it again.
Yeah.
He'll just come back tomorrow.
Yes, Johan is, of course, very light being a skeleton, but he still weighs more than the 10 pounds your mage hand can accomplish.
Sure.
Does your mage hand have any particular look to it?
I would say it looks. Actually, no, it's invisible. My mage hand is not seen. So
Creepy.
What has hold of me? As the hand grabs on Johan, and then you use your action to, we'll say, I do believe that Mage Hand. Oh, wait, no, you get cast it as a bonus action, don't you?
I do.
All right, so yes, as your bonus action, you get to bring him up with the Mage Hand, and with your actual action to use a grapple to pull him up onto the horse. Also, a stream of ash trailing behind it as it runs. The ash being kicked up by its hooves, and the ash that's falling off this horse, creating a plume behind it like a jet fighter as held action concludes and takes off 60 feet, bringing us to Wynn, who already has her cool Legolas move planned out, I do believe.
Yes, I am very grateful, and also have recalled several times where Yoke has done this in the past. So she has mounted these appearing steeds in years before.
Right.
Exactly what she expected would happen, and she goes for it.
Absolutely. As the horse comes running up behind you, you time your jump perfectly using half your movement to leap upon the back of this creature. That leaves you with all the rest of your movement. I assume you're staying where you are. Any action or bonus action from you?
Misty Step only works on yourself, right?
Correct.
And I'm done.
Alrighty. That's going to bring us to Jack, after, of course, your horse uses its held action to move 60 feet.
Huzzah! So, and then I'm on the horse with Dusk. We are both. It's like, not to be a Debbie Downer in the moment, but has anyone seen Hugo, or is he Hugon?
He wasn't there when we woke up.
That's fair. That's
keep in mind that the wind is blowing so loudly that a quiet conversation.
He wasn't there when we woke up.
Thank you.
Rather than blowing the microphones out.
Yeah, I was going to say, I have a tendency
That's a good point.
to get a little too shouty, as I've been told by some DMs
You
around.
shouty? You? Nah.
Yeah, exactly. I say, well then, some riding music. Dashing through the ash on a horse that's made of ash. We are hauling ash by tornadoes made of ash. Ash, ash.
All right.
I'm very grateful the wind is drowning out your song.
Nice. So, no action, essentially.
No, I'll save my
Dash.
action for later. Yeah.
You wish to take a dodge action or anything like that? Or
Honestly,
holding an action?
because Sean, using my dash action won't do anything because I'm on the horse.
There's no way you're going to go faster than the
I'm
horse.
not gonna go faster than the horse. I will hold. Who is the farthest behind?
Everybody is of level. Everybody's. There's a large group of people that are one speed. There's Wind that's out a bit ahead, and then there's you.
Okay, so then I will use Bardic Inspiration on Dusk to be like, hey, it might be time to get on out of here, and it's just like, then so they just like play a little ditty of the opening of the William Teller, just like right, far more.
So you begin to play, and everybody sees you playing, but nobody can hear it. However, on initiative 20, the winds are upon you, and they begin to blow and whirl around you. And as they do, you do all begin to think you can hear something. At first you think it's Jack's music, but it is far more sinister. It is a wailing, a crying. It is voices speaking to you about everything that you didn't get to accomplish. All of the things that you failed to do in life that you will now never have an opportunity to do. You feel intense doubt rising inside of you. Lost opportunities. People you'll never see again. Words spoken in anger that can never be brought back. Loves left cold and forlorn. I will need everyone to make a dexterity saving throw, please.
Who of us is close to win?
None of you.
Damn it.
Sorry, I misty stepped my ass out
Yep.
there.
But
I forgot.
and
22.
so even though Wind's way out in front,
Mhm.
we're all so overtaken by this. Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Nuts.
I'm sorry, mine is not working. Hold, please.
You said a dexterity saving throw, Sean.
Yes, indeed. Feel free to roll physical dice if you must.
Lovely, lovely.
Are you going to call on us or shall we?
Yes, I will call. Let us do Soku first. Excuse me, Dusk.
I rolled a 17.
17 is a success. You manage to hold on to your horse. It is no saddle, but you are able to put your arms around its neck. Feels
Squeezing Jack.
yeah. So you are staying on the horse, Jack.
Rolled a 23.
23, also able to stay where you are. Though being a small creature, the wind is whipping at you. In particular, you feel it would have been extremely bad if you were just flying in the air. But as you are somewhat attached to a horse, you're doing all right.
And just and to dusk.
Yes. Dawn.
I rolled a 22.
22, you're good. Holding on as the winds roil over you, speaking to you of horrible things. He never loved you. Even in death, you fail. Niall.
That's a 5 on the die, plus 9.
Okay.
So that does make it 14.
14 is a failure. However, as
Okay.
you feel your body being lifted into the air, you're able to clamp back down and hold on to the horse. You're not sucked away. Let's see here.
So what happened with the failure? Just the crotch lift off of the just raised
That's a
off
good
of the
point.
saddle momentarily.
You lose
You are
one.
knocked off your horse
No!
as
Okay.
the wind knocks you prone.
Want to play fair?
The wind knocks you prone, so you actually
Okay.
find yourself being thrown off of the horse and you land prone on the ground next to it. And last but not least, we have Wind.
13.
13 is also a is also a failure, but it is not a horrible failure. You are knocked prone. The wind comes and you feel it roiling around you, and for the first bit of it, you feel pretty confident you're holding onto the horse very well, and then the horse rears up at something. Perhaps the wind is speaking to it as well, and you find yourself thrown off of it and landing in a heap prone on the ground next to it. These voices whispering in your ear, "You'll never find her, not because you're not looking hard enough, because she doesn't want to be found."
Holy
that.
shit.
Wow.
Going to bring us to Dusk.
Do I have to roll again? Oh no, I rolled
No,
it.
it's your turn.
Oh, it's my turn.
Holding
what?
onto the horse?
Yeah. What can I put more effort into holding on to the horse?
Sure, we'll call that a dodge action.
Okay.
As you definitely are making sure that you're going to stay on this horse come hell or high water. That is your action. Any bonus action?
No.
All right, that's going to bring us to the horses. All of the horses, except for those who have lost their riders, move ahead 120 feet. Win, yours takes the held action, is waiting next to you. You assume it's difficult to see as the ash is blowing around. Niles, yours waits for you as well, ready for the held action to run as soon as you are on board. That is going to bring us to Dawn. What do you do?
Okay, so I'm now nowhere near Nile. Because I ran, because my horse booked at 120 feet away from him.
Yeah, no, you start next to where Nile is. You all both were 120 feet.
But Nile's horse is stayed
Yeah,
still.
Johan was still on the horse, I would imagine. So did the horse stay with Johan?
Yeah,
or
the
is
horse
Johan-
has not run on with you without you.
Okay,
It has stopped
okay.
there with you. So you begin your turn in the same vicinity as Niall.
Okay, got
Jess.
it.
Oh, even though the horse goes
done.
before me?
Yeah.
The horse
yes.
would have ran 120 feet, even though Niles.
Oh, that's right. They
stayed
held their
still.
action last time.
Yeah.
So yeah, your horse. Sorry, good point. Yes, you are indeed nowhere near Niall at the moment.
Okay. But I'm probably, because of Wynn's previous thing, near Wynn.
Yes. Now the wind has fallen. You could say that you have caught up with her.
Okay. I can't really do anything. I'm just gonna let the horse do its thing. But because I'm caught up with Wynn, I'm going, just because I can hear what the winds are saying, I am going to cast Calm Emotions. To try to alleviate the effects in a 20-foot radius sphere around me on anybody close enough to me.
Very nice.
Of what the wind is whispering at us.
So you send out a wave of your empathy, and as it does, you can hear the voices in the wind mute a little bit as you take the sort of create a wave, and it creates a ripple effect in the ash. And as it happens, you hear the voices quiet. They're still there, but they are no longer as persistent as they were.
Smart. That was smart.
That was cool.
And that's gonna be my turn.
Alrighty, that's going to bring us to Niall, having landed in a
Alright.
heap on the ground.
How far am I from these cones of death?
They are all around you. There was never any hope, really, of completely outrunning them. They are moving much faster than all of you. Enduring them as they wash over you is probably your best bet in the moment, or finding some sort of cover, which is what everybody else seems to be doing.
All right. In that case, seeing them whip around me and feeling rather vulnerable, I'm going to smack the horse carrying Johan and send him forward, and I'm going to reach for my whip, and I'm going to whip into the air. The whip is a black whip with 4 blue spikes at the end of it, and the whip catches in the atmosphere and rips the atmosphere open. I'm casting Rope Trick, and I'm going to pull myself out of the. I'm going to pull myself out of the cone.
That is awesome, indeed. You create in this bizarre space between life and death a little pocket dimension of nothingness that you are allowed to rest in for a period of time. I'm going to ask for a, let's call it a athletics check to see if you're able to pull yourself up the rope. Well, wait a minute here. How high is the rope?
It can be. Oh, let me see. Let me actually look at the spell before I'm like, it could be whatever I want it to be.
It's up to 60 feet.
Up to 60 feet, but I'm really just going to. It's the length of the whip, and that's how I cast it, is with my whip, and that whip is only 10 feet long. So I'm going to cast it up in the air, and I'm going to see if I can acrobatics my way into it, if you would allow me that roll.
Very nice. So it takes half of your movement to stand up for being prone. So here's the thing. I think that spell does require a material component that you don't have.
Oh, you son of a biscuit. You mean I didn't come to
You didn't come to the afterlife
powdered corn
with a-
extract and a twisted loop of parchment?
Yeah, I'm
Do you not
afraid
have
you're
a
dead.
Do you not have a focus?
No. No, that's not a thing I have. All right, well, then thank you for ruining my super
It
cool
was really
idea.
cool idea. I was tempted to go with it, but it's
No,
very
I
important.
don't.
You are dead. You have with you these 5 things.
I have
nothing else.
All right, well then,
So-
that is what I tried to do. But when I whipped into the air, the nothing happened, and so I will yell at the horse that I sent off. No, wait, I'm kidding! and I will use my action to dash and try to leap back on the horse with one remaining movement. My bonus action will be to dash, so I will try to get back to the horse and leap on top of it.
Yes, all right, so that works. The
Oh, we're in
horse...
such a fight, Sean.
I'm sorry. I mean, that's the rules. As you, the horse does take a few steps and then come back, and then you get on, and the horse is, would actually activate the horse's held action, so it is able to move. We'll say it only went a few feet further, so it's able to move 55 feet as opposed to 60.
Okay, great.
No problem. That's going to bring us back to the top of the order with Win.
All right. Any sort of advantage that I might get with calm emotions, or just...
I will say that calm emotions only lasts for a minute, as I recall.
Yeah. But we're in the middle of initiative, so.
We're in the middle of initiative, so any advantage you might have to it could potentially come later.
Got it. Then I'm just gonna beat feet to stand up, get on the horse, and keep running.
All right. Keep in mind, please, that you are concentrating on calm emotions, Dawn. Alrighty. So that is going to bring us to Jack. Is a dodge action that you wanted to take?
Absolutely.
Sorry, I was speaking to Win. As your part of your action, did you want to take the dodge action?
Describe to me the benefit of that.
So that's what I was like, holding on extra specially hard to the horse. We said the dodge action would sort of encompass that. It would allow you an advantage on a dexterity save.
That's what I didn't understand. Can I still take the dodge action if I had to stand all the way up and get on the horse?
Yes.
Great, then yes.
Alrighty, that's going to bring us. Then, as you climb the horse is going to use its held action to run 60 feet. Going to bring us to Jack.
Lovely. So I'm going to go ahead and use my action to take the dodge action as well. Is it possible for me to see Win and send a bardic inspiration to her as well, or is this?
Recall you have a very high, well, not hugely high, but a pretty good passive perception. I would say that the greater threat here is the force of the winds and the fact that you could be sucked up into them. The ash is hard to see through, but not so hard that you can't see the figure of Win holding tightly to her horse.
Okay, so if I'm able to, is Win farther than 60 feet from my horse currently?
I do not believe so.
All right. Then I would like to, but I imagine she can't hear me, can she?
Definitely not.
Wins! All right, so.
Tell you what, I'll allow a Constitution check to see if you are able to inhale and expel enough wind to see if you are able to scream.
How about an inspiring butt dance? Does bardic inspiration have to be verbal?
Unfortunately,
yes.
Me?
All right.
Yeah, that is a creature that you can
worth a
hear.
shot.
Yeah,
Indeed.
yeah. All right.
Okay, fair.
So,
fair.
but a Constitution roll, you say?
Yes.
Let's see if I con. All right, so let's see here.
Not a save, a con roll. So it's just a d20 plus your con.
Just my con ability. All right.
Yes.
Balls. All right. Well, that's for a Fae. That's a great roll because it was a 3. So that is a total of like 5 on the die.
You're rolling like me.
Yeah, I literally go.
Are you okay?
Ash, right down the gullet.
To my nose.
The wind continues to make its horrible howl. Those of you who are not close enough to be under the auspices of Dawn's calm emotions hear them whispering in your mind all of the things that every moment that you wish you could have back, every action, every time you did something or didn't do something, it begins to weigh heavily on your soul, giving you doubts in your ability, doubts in your understanding of who you were, and if you have to endure much more of it, you don't know what you will do. I do need, however, everybody to make dexterity saving throws. Those of you who are dodging on the backs of your horses get to do so at advantage.
All of us need to make the dex save?
Yes.
It's probably not a success.
Oops.
Oh no.
All right, so I will call out, please.
Oh, no.
Jack, what did you roll?
Ack currently rolled a 22.
22, holding on to the horse and Dusk without any difficulty. Win,
I rolled a 24 total.
24, also no trouble at all. Dusk,
14.
14. A 14 is a failure. Jack, you feel Dusk ripped out of your tiny little hands. She's thrown from the horse and onto the ground. She is prone. Dawn.
Wait, Dusk,
So-
you have an inspiration.
Oh, Bardic Inspiration?
You did?
What was that again?
It was a D10.
Remind me when you gave her the Bardic Inspiration?
That was my very first turn.
Yeah.
I turned over my shoulder, and that was my hauling through the ash.
Oh, I see. So, and yes, because she is right there with you, I will say that you were able to. The tiny little voice in her ear.
Plus 7.
So +7 becomes a
14.
21.
14.
21.
Fine.
21. 21, yes. You feel the wind begin to pull you off the horse. Then you remember Jack's little ditty, and somehow it gives you the strength to hold on.
I get more angry and I hold on harder.
Yes, indeed.
I'll have you know, my little ditty has saved many lives.
Very good.
Unfortunately, mine as well.
As you hold with all your might onto the horse, you feel your fingers actually moving through the flesh, and you are able to feel bone underneath it. As you look down and watch the dust that has formed these horses as it roils off the back of them is being used up, and their skeletons are being revealed underneath, running with no difficulty. But you don't know what state they'll be in by the time you get where you're going. If you do. Dawn.
I rolled a 12.
A 12, a failure. Knocked from the horse.
No.
And Niall.
11 on the die gives me a dirty 20.
A dirty 20, holding on without any difficulty. Very good. That is going to bring us then to Dusk.
Did I see Dawn fall off her horse?
In relatively the same area, so what is your passive perception?
Passive perception 10.
10. Going to say that it's not very likely, given what all is
Okay.
going on.
Then I'll take the dodge action.
Taking the dodge action, holding on hard as the horses beat the ground with their hooves. Horses turn. Those of you who are on the ground, the horses stop. Johan looks down at you now. Come on, son! Time to go! And he reaches you down to you to pull you up. The rest run 120 feet. Those of you in the front, you can see up ahead the copse of trees getting closer. And it's going to bring us to Dawn.
Okay. Based on where the copse of trees are and where I am in the storm, does it feel more like a hunker down situation or still keep trying to get to the copse of trees?
The wind is very strong. You must be getting close to the center of whatever this group of storms is. By this point, perhaps hunkering down is the better choice.
Okay, knowing that, and that I have calm emotions on me so that the noises are just, the voices are impacting me less, I'm going to stay laying on the ground. I'm gonna grab an item that was kind of hidden before. I'm going to lay this bar across my stomach, and I'm activating my immovable rod.
Yes!
Oh,
And I pin to the ground.
Please keep your arms and feet within the ride at all times. As
In the rod at all times.
Exactly.
Or it's that scene in Twister where they like tie their belts to the pipe, but D&D
Yeah,
style.
and it's just held across my stomach, so I'm like sandwiched underneath it. I put it right as close to me as I can,
Absolutely.
so I'm just shoved into the ground and I'm activating the rod.
So I'm compelled to ask, why is this rod, this immovable rod, one of the 5 items that you have with you here in the afterlife?
So
You asked for it.
when I was a teenager, like I said,
Here we go.
our family,
Strap in.
our merchant family, and so we've done a lot of shipping of things, and I may have freed it from one of my parents' shipments, and Dusk and I have used this rod a lot for sneaking out, for getting into all the shit we got into as teenagers. So
Does it have like your
Yeah.
family crest emblazoned on it? Like, if found, please return to...
Yeah, it's definitely got like our merchant crest on it. But Dusk and I have definitely graffitied it, so that
Yeah.
it's like less noticeable. It's like, you know, it looks like a notebook that a bunch of teen girls had, you know, just covered in D&D's version of stickers and crap. Just we've completely.
Oh my God.
and it's just like
The line S sketched on
those
it.
like S sketches, and the horses.
Kilroy was here.
The horses on the eye ends, we've like painted their manes in the pinks and turquoises of our skin, and
Love it.
it's just
Oh,
like
I love it.
a bedecked, immovable rod that I've had since I was like 14 because
That-
I freed it from my parents' shipment.
I'm so glad I asked. There you go. Yes, indeed. The immovable rod activates a completely stationary object that you are able to hold on. You are hunkering down. Brings us to Nile. What do you? Does your? I guess the horse stays there with you. Not going to leave you. So, speaking to Don there, but Nile.
I will keep going, and I will take the dodge action.
All right, so you take the bony hand of Johan. He pulls you up onto the horse. As he does, you can feel underneath you the horse has gotten extremely uncomfortable to ride, as the flesh of it seems to be blowing away in this wind. That is the end of that round. Brings us to Win. Win, if anything, the wind is blowing even louder and harder now. What do you do?
Dodge action and just getting the hell out. Now, again, Misty Step is only myself,
Correct.
including a steed. Like I couldn't
Misty Step a
my
steed. Indeed, you could Misty Step off the steed. The wind whipping at you, tears streaming from the burning sensation in your eyes, your hair flying out behind you. It's come loose of whatever you've held it with, your armor covered with ash, your face covered with ash, just gritting your teeth as this now completely skeletal horse begins to gallop with you as you find yourself nearing the end of this storm, as the copse of trees is almost in view. Based on how things have worked out, looks like you're going to be arriving at it just as the storm actually dissipates.
As the as the flesh goes away and I take that dodge action by holding on tighter, I'm actually starting to hold on to its bones instead of just so I've gripped through its ribs, basically.
If anything, a better grip than you had before. So that's going to bring us to Jack.
All right, so again, taking the dodge action to give me the advantage, and then do I see Dawn go down and hunker, or am I past her at this point?
You again have a pretty high passive perception. I think not everybody's spread out a little bit because of the various people who have gone down, but they're still generally in the same area. I think only Wynn is the only one who is really far out. She got a jump on everybody, and as the horse got to her, was able to take her even further. So she's far out ahead.
DM, would you give me the same Constitution roll to try to bardically inspire Dawn?
Yeah, sure, the same one. Yes, you try to give her the bardic inspiration.
Try to cover my mouth to make sure it's so let's see here. That is...
Got your N95.
So that's a 15.
A 15. At this point, I'm going to say, although it's an impressive shout for a little fairy man such as yourself, it is not enough to overcome the winds of this roiling maelstrom.
Love it.
Little Fairy Man is actually his Instagram handle.
Alrighty.
Very dare you. It's wings and things, but all right.
Very nice. Let's see here. That is going to bring us to the wind. The wind is seemingly pouncing on those of you who have managed to be knocked away, but then found your footing again with maybe even a malevolent vengeance as it whips at your hair, at your clothing, finding its way into your lungs and stealing your own air out of you as you ride. I'm going to need everyone to make a dexterity saving throw. Those of you who are dodging have advantage. Those of you who are on the ground have advantage.
Do I have advantage or?
Yes.
Okay.
You're prone. I assume you're prone.
I'm prone and being held down by an immovable rod, so.
Yeah, that's what I thought. You have advantage.
Ooh, nice.
Alrighty, let's
Very
get
well.
those
Terrible.
rolls. Niall.
That is a 12 on the dice. 21.
21's a success. Dawn.
13.
13. 13 is a failure. However, it is not a terrible failure.
You keep saying that. I don't think it
you
means
feel-
what you think it means.
It's true, though.
also
You've
saw-
technically rolled below the DC, but not so far below that disastrous things happen. As you holding on to the rod, you feel your fingers begin to slip, and it is trying. It's almost as if the wind has grabbed your feet and is trying to like slip you out from underneath the rod. And as it does, it begins to whisper in your mind.
I still have calm emotions on me as well.
It's still whispering,
Okay.
but perhaps it's not affecting you as hard as it would otherwise. It says, "Never remember, you trusted him when he betrayed you. Who else have you trusted? And when do you think they will betray you?" That is for that. Let's see.
That's low.
Jack. The words being whispered in your mind speak
Okay.
to you. They say, "Your little game, it has come to a strange end. You will be lost forever, never to reclaim that which you gave up." Very nice. I think, did I call for all the deck saves?
No.
All right,
Yeah,
Jack, what did you roll?
so I'm so glad I rolled an advantage because I rolled a nat 1.
I also rolled a nat one.
If you're curious to what might happen if with a very bad roll, we can negate the advantage.
Nope.
Nope, all right.
Because I
I
also
think so.
rolled a 16 on the die, giving me a 23. So
You're good.
3.
And I'm sorry, I lost count. Who yes, win. Thank you.
It's me, but I got a crit success.
All right, a crit success. So you're
And me.
good.
Oh, Dusk.
Dusk.
12.
A 12.
Oh.
Sisters.
You all watch as Dusk is lifted off of this horse, blown into the air, rising up away. Jack, you watch as she's looking down at you. There's a brief moment before she is drawn up into this ashen cloud, and you lose all sight of her.
Can I use my reaction? Am I close enough? Can I use my reaction to try to whip and get a lasso around her?
Do
leg?
you have a reaction that allows you to do something like that?
Yeah, because it's cool.
That is not in denial. That is not in denial.
No, that was just
However-
my.
However, we live in a
nothing
society, people.
specific.
We have rules. Otherwise, we'd just be sitting around the table making stuff up, which is fun, but it's not D&D. So
Not what we're doing.
yeah, you have a reaction that you can use in response to seeing Dusk being blown up. I mean, I should say, if you have a reaction that you can use, a spell, an action that specifically says reaction, you may use it. Otherwise,
Could that be considered an opportunity attack?
Oh, my leg? My leg has a really low AC.
You know, I would actually consider that a possibility, but you would have to be within 5 feet, so no. However, Jack, you are within 5 feet.
Yes.
I will allow just this once. I will allow a grapple attack as a reaction. That is not technically something you can do as a reaction, but I will allow it.
Can I attempt to stab her in the leg and pin her to the bones of the horse?
I would love to say yes. I can't imagine that you had a weapon drawn.
You have to have the dagger already in your hand.
Yeah.
Say, you mean this dagger? All right. So you're saying, so just
a grapple. So it's gonna have to be athletics, I'm afraid.
Oh, good God!
It's gonna be hard, but hey, natural 20s happen.
I mean, yeah, sure, why not?
I believe in you. Saved my sister.
You saved my sister.
Stab my sister.
All right. And athletics. You got this. You got this.
You got it.
You ran once, right? That is a 16 on the die with a +1 to my athletics roll, which is better. So that's a 17.
17. I will allow you to hold on to Dusk and go with her, but you are not going to help her stay on the horse at all.
Dude, no.
That was super fair.
That was hilarious.
If I feel like there's nothing that he can do to keep me and he's risking his own safety, I will do whatever I can to stop him from being able to do that.
All right, so okay, if you are resisting his attempt to hold on to you, that would be a acrobatics or athletics check of your own to resist this grapple.
-1 to both, so let's see.
We're such a strong group, you guys.
We are.
17!
Oh, Jack, as you hold on, he's like, Hugo, we go! As you feel Dusk flying up, and she kicks, and you fall back down onto the horse, and you are forced, actually, at this point, there is no more flesh on the horse. You actually fall inside of the rib cage of the horse, and you are trapped within.
Yes!
As Dusk is carried into the air and out of sight. As I said before, Dusk, at the beginning of your turn, I need you to roll a d6.
Ooh, that sounds fun. 1d6. 2.
A 2. You remain in the air, and you rise even higher, flying.
Oh no.
You've lost complete sight of the ground. All around you is wind and ash, as you have no idea where in space and time you are. That is all you are able to do in this round. There is no way that you can do anything other than tumble through the air. All of you, even those of you who have a really high perception, you saw a dark figure of Dusk fly in the air, and now she's gone. Inside this maelstrom, not seen at all. Dusk, within this swirling maelstrom, the power of these doubting voices weigh heavily upon you, so much so that you actually feel like you might be falling under their weight, even though you are rising higher. They speak to you of futility. They speak to you of inevitable failure and unworthiness and hubris. That's going to bring us to the horses that continue to ride. Win. You arrive at the copse of trees, cover of sorts, enough so that even if the wind were to grab you, there would be things in between you and it that would no doubt keep you on the ground. This happens at the end of the horse's turn. Dawn, you've got a bit further to go.
I'm trapped on the ground under an immovable
Oh, that's
rod.
right, yes. How silly of me to forget. Yes, indeed. Under the movable rod. That is, I assume you're...
I love as the wind is whipping around Dusk in the form of a cattail right now.
Yes, exactly. Brings us to Nile.
Thanks, Atlas.
Am I close enough to the copse of trees where I can drop off Johan?
Not yet. You will need another round to get there, assuming that the wind lasts that long.
I will look at Johan and say, sorry, old chap, and I'm going to turn the horse around and I'm going to go back for Dusk.
For Dusk?
I question the wisdom of this particular action. He shouts in your ear. He says, "What? This horse can't fly." So you turn the horse around, and it's going to take you an action. I will allow a perception check to see if you can find her. But as the ash is stinging your eyes and covering your face, it'll be extremely difficult. Not impossible.
I will take it. I will make a perception check. And that is a 26, DM.
I didn't say at disadvantage. Technically would have been at disadvantage because of the obscurement.
You didn't say it.
Technically,
And that's a 26.
Technically, the horses obey my commands. My commands will get you out of there.
Oh no!
They are fake creatures.
So I can't. All of my cool ideas, and you guys are pooping on all of them.
It's fun for us.
The party poopers.
Yes.
Yeah.
The horse is friendly to you. Jack, I tell you what. Let's solve this with dice. Let's roll a d4. On odds,
okay.
It is the creature is technically friendly to Nile, so there is a chance it could obey his command. I tell you what, actually no, not a d4. Animal handling check.
Ooh.
Okay.
Love it.
All right. Well, that's a straight d20. So. Okay. I had one really good roll, and now my curse is returned.
A 3.
I got a 3.
You pull on the reins, and the horse adamantly refuses to follow your directions and continues to follow the directions of he who summoned it, and that would be Jack. So
then I'm hopping off the horse and I'm running back to get Dusk.
All right, that you can do. Absolutely.
I'm in the sky though.
It's still the perception check. I should have called for a disadvantage. I tell you what.
Cut me a little bit of a break.
We will remember this time.
We will remember this.
The DM wished to go back on something or say something he didn't say. We will remember this. So, indeed, a 26 is enough to see 60 feet up or more the swirling form of Dusk in the air.
Yeah.
All right. I am going to use my action to turn my whip into.
No, so your action was to perceive, my friend.
Okay. Well, then I will be waiting to use my action to. Then I'm waiting till my next turn.
All right. Standing in the wind as it whips around you, waiting somehow to help Dusk 60 feet up. Wynn, you are now in the copse of trees, as you could see one by one the horses emerging from the wind on their way towards you, devoid of all flesh, black, jet black skeletons of these horses.
Oh, cool.
How far away is where I would guess, I know I can't see her, but where I would guess Dusk is?
No idea. You were
Totally lost.
you were far enough from where you are and where all that happened, and the fact that she's so high up in the storm, not a chance.
Okay. I try to scream to Nile. I can use my boots to find her, but I don't know where to get her, but I don't know where she is.
You scream out into the wind. no one hears.
All right. That's me.
Alrighty, that is going to bring us to Jack.
Lovely. All right. DM, since I was with Dusk when she was taken into the sky, I am immediately flying after her to pursue her.
No.
All right, you leave your horse as well.
I like how you have been shaking your head at everybody trying to get back at Dusk, and that's the first thing you do.
Absolutely, because none of you can fly.
So, just letting you know, as you take flight, you are technically airborne, which means
Yes, I know.
you'll be
It's a terrible idea.
subject to the same things that are happening to Dusk. You sure?
Not going to lose another one.
Oh,
Right. So you leave
With my-
the horse
With my
flying
passive,
up into the storm.
These.
As you do, the winds seem to grab you and propel you head over wing, flying, tumbling up into the air. And
Leaf on the
you have
breeze.
no idea where she is. You have no idea where you are.
So can I? So not even with my passive perception.
Passive perception, most definitely not. I will allow a perception check, however, at
Active perception.
disadvantage.
At disadvantage.
You said it.
All right then. If I burn a luck point, do I get to roll at normal? Or
Yeah, the luck point would offset the disadvantage.
All right, so then I'll roll. That is a 19 on the die, with my perception being a plus 12, which is a whopping 31.
My goodness, as you tumble up into the storm, you see a familiar flash of teal whip by you. And you realize that the winds have accelerated you up into this maelstrom. You are right next to her.
Now what are you gonna do?
Fantastic.
You're tiny.
I'm going to use my reaction to cast Featherfall.
Ah, very nice.
So you see me like Mighty Mouse, just like.
Double check that doesn't have a material component.
Then in my best bingo voice, Featherfall.
He has his instrument, so he's got his focus.
Oh, that's true. Yes,
Yeah.
you can use your instrument as your focus, indeed.
Absolutely.
So as you are tumbling through the air, you see her and you,
Ingredients.
as you use your instrument to cast the spell. Anything in particular about this Featherfall spell that you're casting?
Oh, so as you see me like strum this note. So again, the band door is this beautiful bass note. So it's that Scott Pilgrim versus the where Henry
Yes, of
Cavill
course.
was like dum 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 dum. So you hear that sort of when it sort of resonates out this purple orb. As it does so, these owl-like wings seem to both wrap Dusk and then at the same time fly out from her shoulders and then just give her the ability to sort of slowly drift down, even though we're still kind of corkscrewing around and all of this maelstrom of malice. And so as I'm able to sort of land that note, and then I just sort of give her a little wink, and then I sit there going, I did it. Now what?
Very nice. Is it? Oh, well, I'll save that one for another. I'm going to do a little bit of a retcon. As you were sheltered, per se, I did have you make that deck save,
Dawn?
Jesse. Sorry, yes, Dawn. As you are down there, I need a wisdom save. The winds that speak to you carry with them words of your doom.
Do I get advantage because of calm emotions?
Yes.
So 25.
You're good. Everything plays out as it did. We're all
Oh,
good.
brilliant.
That is going to now bring us to the wind.
Wind?
As the wind whips around,
I believe it's named Mariah.
I think it's pronounced wine.
Mariah. Now, Dawn, I need another wisdom save, and also one from you, Win.
Still advantage? For both of us,
Still advantage,
because-
yes. Both of you advantage because of calm emotions, indeed, yes.
The most clutch use of calm emotions I've
Well, we'll
ever
see, won't we?
in
My
any
goodness.
game ever.
We rolled the same.
Gosh, thank God but I get to add a little.
I got a 15 total.
Well, and
15
then on-
total?
Yeah, with a +9 to wisdom, I rolled shit.
Well, wait, hang on. Don't you also? Isn't there also a bonus that?
You're in my aura.
That
I
She's
am
not
not.
in her. She's not in her.
I'm laying under an immovable rod in the middle of a
Yeah.
maelstrom.
I keep thinking she's there,
And remember,
but I'm like, oh.
your aura is actually factored into your saving throw rolls already, Win. So, what did you roll, Win?
Oh, I rolled a 21.
21. You're good.
And I rolled a 15.
15. You have disadvantage on your next roll, whatever that would be. However, as you are prone and underneath this thing, you have advantage on your dexterity save. Dexterity saves all around, please, except for you, Win.
So it's flat for me. For fuck's sakes.
Actually, I take that back. Win, you would also have to roll.
All right.
Dex
Yes.
at regular, no advantage.
No advantage, correct. Jack, yours, please.
I'm burning a luck point for that one. That was not much better. That is going to be a 16.
A 16 does not succeed. However, it does not fail by enough to be a problem. You manage to stay somehow through the use of your spell with Featherfall and the use of I'm trying to imagine how this would all work within this maelstrom, the Featherfall. It's still in effect. It will be in effect until you actually touch down, as long as you don't fall further than 600 feet, which you are nowhere close to. The wind is still having its way with you, but you're also being buoyed up by your magic. Strange. Dusk, what did you roll?
I rolled.
Oh, sorry.
a-
What am I thinking? Beginning of your turn, please, Jack. A d6.
A D6. Are you sure? We don't have to.
I am sure.
That'd be a 3 on
A
the die.
3 on the die. You stay in the air and you are. You go even higher. Again, not probably going to be a problem because of Featherfall, but it's good to know. Dusk. D6.
D6, okay. Oops. 5.
A 5. All right. That is good. I'm sorry. No, that is the opposite of good. It is bad.
What?
Would
What
be
are you doing?
I'm being mean. I have the prerogative to be mean.
Yeah.
No, sorry.
That's my
It
job.
would be bad, I should say, except for the fact that you have Featherfall on you, and as such, the wind throws you down, and you feel yourself being careened down through levels of air, and just as you're about to hit the ground, the Featherfall comes into effect. It's not going to be enough to prevent you from taking any damage, but it is definitely enough to cushion your blow, as this is not just a simple fall, it is a pummel. Something is pushing you down with great force. So you are going to take, as you are 60 feet in the air, you're going to take 66. We will have this because of Featherfall. Wait, here we go. 20 even, so you take 10 points of bludgeoning damage. Falling down, you actually bounce on the ground as if in slow motion, and then the spell ends and you fall in a heap on the ground, ash
Oh my
rising
God.
up all around you.
Did you ask all of us what our dex saves were? Because I thought the d6s were at the beginning of people's turn.
Yes,
Because you didn't get my dex save.
I think it was all right. I think I saw it go up, but go ahead and tell me what it was.
9.
I was very wrong.
That's why I was like, Sean didn't notice my dex save.
I just want to take
didn't.
this moment and thank the honesty of our players.
Indeed.
For being so...
It is.
Is there a test later?
Yeah.
Do I get points? Can I get like 7 extra added to that for being so honest?
Yeah.
I tell you what, I'll give you inspiration because you were so honest. Let her be a lesson to all of you.
Yeah.
For a different role, not this role. You can't use it on this role.
Yeah, I rolled a 9, which I'm assuming is really bad.
It's really bad.
It's really
bad. Despite the rod, actually. So it's interesting how this all plays out. Because you are prone and technically tethered to this rod, the roll is less effective, so I'm going to say that you stay where you are. However, I am going to ask for a wisdom saving throw as the winds rip at you, and in perhaps their annoyance at not being able to take you out, they psychically scream in your ear, pleading with you, threatening you, intimidating you, doing everything they can to get you to let go of the rod.
Is this at advantage because of calm emotions?
It's a wisdom save. This time I'm gonna say no.
Okay.
An 11!
I have a +9 to wisdom saves.
Oh my god.
Why didn't you use your inspiration?
Because I have a +9 to wisdom saves. I thought it would be fine.
Well, that was a gamble that you shouldn't have taken. As you feel your fingers begin to release the rod, and now make a dexterity save. Oh, then we'll take the 9 that you rolled before because you were so honest. As you let go of the rod, you are whipped into the air, the maelstrom triumphantly howling around you. That brings us to the horses that continue to ride. Dawn, in the beginning of your turn, a D6.
What's the end game here? How do we get out of this? We just needed to die. We need the
1.
wind to
A
die.
1! You are thrown higher into the air, now 60 feet, joining your sister, you think, in the maelstrom. Niall being carried forth against your will by this horse. Actually, no, you got off,
No,
didn't you?
got off.
No, I
horse
got
is
off
in the
the horse.
distance.
I have
a plan.
Well, I had a plan. It has all gone haywire since Jack threw himself into the tornado, and now both sisters are up in the tornado. And
Technically, one sister is now slammed into the earth and no longer in the tornado. The other sister has now been sucked into the tornado because they're sisters and they do everything the same.
yes.
And so it is only myself and the other sister now who are in the tornado. Everyone, stay on the rails.
It's confusing.
There's nothing that I can do to help. I'm standing my ground, and I will use my I will hold my action to make my whip into a lasso, and I will try to snag them if any of them come within range of my whip.
Is there anything about your whip that will defy the rules of gravity? Like if somebody's falling down and you lasso them as they go, won't they still just crash to the ground?
I mean, if they're crashing to the ground, I can't help them. But if they're being carried up into the air, I can hold on to them and prevent them from being lifted higher if they get close.
Alrighty, as you stand there staring in vain up into the storm, you watch as almost as if somebody flipped a switch, the storm dissipates.
I hate that.
And you see Jack floating gently to the ground, and then Dawn falling.
Fuck!
That scared the crap out of me.
Okay. Is it technically the next round?
You have a reaction. No, you've already used your reaction. No, at the end of this round, the storms dissipate. There is nothing you can do, Jack, as you watch Dawn. As you gently float down, and of course your wings are able to then carry you wherever you wish to go. But as Dawn plummets to the ground, taking 15 points of bludgeoning damage, landing, there is a loud crack as you're certain she cracked some ribs.
Oh no.
The ash flies in all directions as the wind dissipates. All the darkness and the blackness in the air just parts like a curtain, revealing once again the purple maelstrom in the side, and the area, this entire area, swept clean completely of ash, revealing the beauty of the golden wheat as far as you can see. That is going to be where we take our break. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll be back in just a few minutes, so come back soon, and we will deal with this aftermath when we return. See you soon. And welcome back. This is Severed Threads, Notes from the Black Ballad, a fantastic new module from Storytellers Forge, who are sponsoring this podcast. We're very grateful to them, and also to Dia Morte. The music that you're hearing right now has been composed by them specifically for this adventure. Pretty cool little collaboration. We are very grateful for both of them for the sponsorship of this stream, and we're glad you're back. If you're watching this, it means you like D&D. And if you like in D&D, I bet you like dice, and I bet you like other cool D&D related things as well. So, I'd like to announce giveaways. If you go to Storytellers Forge Discord right now and mention this stream in chat, you will be entered into a giveaway for something cool from Storytellers Forge. And if you go into my Discord, Medium Rare on Discord, and mention this stream, then you will be entered into a giveaway for a cool set of dice. And who doesn't need more dice? Come on. The links to both of those Discords are going to be in chat right here. So, absolutely get in there, mention, and win. A brief recap, if you are just joining us. The group of adventurers, having newly arrived in an area called the Sunless Crossing, newly arrived and under the realization that they are all dead, and that the Sunless Crossing is some sort of limbo, some between place between life and death. Greeted by one Johann Marrow and escorted across these fields of wheat and dust to some unknown destination, although he did mention the name of a city known as Nox Valar. As they were traveling across these plains, huge and powerful storms swept down upon them, attempting to suck them up into the air and cast them who knows where. As these storms blew around them, there were moaning and whispering words of woe and doubt that crept into the minds of our heroes. However, they managed to resist, and with a few bumps and bruises, they have endured the storm. And as you all gaze around the area, seeing the swept clean plains, Johann stops and gets off the horse, pats it where it would be have flesh, but instead his bony hands scrape across the bones of this skeletal horse now. He looks around and he says, the beauty of this almost makes you forget the violent storm that made it possible. He dusts himself off and looks around at the group and says, everyone all right? Oh dear. Comes walking over to you and lends a hand to help you stand up. Able to walk?
Yeah, I'll be fine.
I cast Cure Wounds on Dawn.
All right.
For 11 hit points.
As you cast your spell, the dust that is inside Dawn's body, in her mouth, in her nose, in her ears, drains from it and falls to the ground. Indeed, for the most part, there is clean grass and weed all around you, but you can see in the areas where the maelstroms were, these storms were, right before they disappeared, there are large piles of ash gathered from the plains and deposited in this one place. Dawn looks like a smaller version of those, until the Cure Wounds divests her of this ash. Well, now, I'm sorry, you were saying?
I'm gonna attempt to find my bedazzled rod.
Yes, it is there, clearly visible. The wind has cleaned all of the ash out of the area, and you can see it. No trouble at all.
Mr. Marrow, you might have led with the fact that there are, in fact, horrendous ash storms that we need to be avoiding.
Well,
Yes, what other kinds of elemental chaos can we expect?
In
on
my-
our trip to
Excellent
this town?
question, Niall. I thought we were strolling.
Hey,
and here we are being flung about, ash over tea kettle.
In point of fact, this region of the crossing should most definitely not be getting shadow twisters at this time of season. Something would seem to be off, but I'm sure it's nothing. And if I had any way of predicting and protecting you all from such things, I would have. I do extend my apologies for any inconveniences you might have endured. But we should make our way to the junction as fast as we can. But there is one place we need to stop first. A bit further. And he walks over once again to the skeletal horses and gives it a pat and looks towards you and says, "Fine idea." And continues to walk, and as he does, the horse shakes as if it was shaking its mane, but since there's no hair, it's just a clatter of bones, and it opens its mouth, and there is no sound, although it is clearly attempting to whinny.
Ooh.
It doesn't even make a goat sound?
It has no vocal folds.
Yeah.
It's magic!
It made the goat noise before.
Yeah, sure, all right. See if the horse has gotten any better at making noise. It goes.
Oh, that's awful.
stop.
In my defense,
Yeah.
I'm working on that part.
The most important part was the feet, and you nailed them.
They have hooves. That's,
So I'm still laying on the ground, and I'm going to just slowly get up. Just.
I'm gonna
like,
walk over to you and cast Cure Wounds on you.
like dusting myself, like, ugh. Thank you.
For 7 points of healing.
Why was the ash whispering?
Yeah, did everybody else hear whispers?
Yes.
oh yeah,
It was really
it was
digging
not me.
deep.
I whisper
Okay.
a lot, but was not what I do.
So what the hell was that?
Johan, you got the Maelstrom of Malice that we any reason?
The shadow twisters are also sometimes referred to as the winds of woe, or excuse me, the winds of rue, as in you'll rue the day. They can be quite persistent. Does anybody feel, I suppose, a little more down on themselves than they might normally be?
If possible, yes.
I'm pissed off.
You're always pissed off.
That's fair.
I'm more pissed off.
It said some pretty awful things.
It. Why? How does it know?
It knew things.
Exactly.
There are mysteries here that I do not know the answers to. How does it know such things? That's a damn good question. But it is nice to see the ashen fields less ashy, although in
So
this
what is
world,
that?
pardon.
Like, so obviously these are the ashen fields, and then but before us, these are verdant lands. Like, this is a gorgeous field. Why have it covered in ash? Like, what? Where is all of this ash coming from? I mean,
I've speculated on that. I've come to the conclusion that just as all things eventually erode in the world to dust, with enough time everything fades and turns into a distant memory. Perhaps this ash that falls down is what remains of those memories and the dust of ages past. But that's just my theory.
Well,
DM, could I do an investigation check to like pick up a little and rub it between my fingers?
Sure. Once you move out of the area where the storms were, you can certainly find plenty of it. Make an investigation check.
11.
An 11. Pick it up, move it through your fingers. It has a dusty, ashy feel to it. Turns into small particulates. Jack.
Oh, you're so gross, Jack.
Yeah, I wouldn't eat it.
It's got a little bit of saffron, I
wouldn't
think.
eat it.
All right. As you continue walking, about another hour or so, again, largely featureless, these fields. Every now and then you see a small bush or a tree. As you look at these trees, you notice they don't seem to be following any particular season in terms of their foliage. The copse that you were running to was covered with golden fruit and flowers and looked just in the bloom of spring, but you also pass trees that are bare, looking like skeletal claws reaching up out of the ground, and you see some that are covered with leaves that are clearly in the state of losing all their chlorophyll and turning into the corpses of leaves as they fall down, and some that are in the lush bloom of summer. But you see up ahead a very large copse of trees. Definitely the largest that you've seen, and takes up a good portion of the of your destination as far as you can tell where Johann is leading you. And he points to it and says, "Now, this here is called the Atonement Grove." He walks up to it, and it is the trees and the fruit that is hanging from these trees looks lush and verdant. The trees are so close together you can only see maybe 3 or 4 feet into the interior of this grove. Completely invisible because of the shadows and, in some cases, the actual physical branches in your way. But you see pears, you see pomegranates, you see apples hanging from these trees. Johann reaches up and takes a pear and pulls it out and brings up his mouth, and you watch as the juice runs into his mouth. It sort of falls down his neck, and he says, "I swear I can almost taste it." Well,
Very Pirates of the Caribbean coded there.
yes.
That was gross.
Anyway, as I was saying, this is what we call the Atonement Grove. Behind these trees, in the very center of it, you will find a pond. And if you walk up to it and look into it, you will, as you might expect, see your reflection. But it's not just a reflection, it's what we call the unsullied visage. I cannot force you to enter, and indeed, I would never wish to force anyone to do anything. But what I can tell you is, if there's anything about yourself that you feel you should address, anything unresolved, anything you know you need to have a moment of reflection regarding, I highly recommend you enter. You can see yourself, and you will even be able to speak with yourself, and the conversation may be difficult, but it could also prove to be a critical part of your journey here in Sunless Crossing. I've seen countless dead folk skip going into this grove, only to wander the ashen fields aimlessly, without purpose, until their entire being fractures and they unravel into utter nothingness. So, the choice is yours. I know what I will choose. And he
What
makes
did you choose?
I walked in, of course. And he walks over and picks a pomegranate and sits down with his back up against a tree, the staff laid across his legs, and begins to open the pomegranate and squeeze the seeds in his mouth. And as he does this, you watch as behind him the trees do part, revealing a path.
Well, being a group of well-adjusted individuals, I think we can do a hard pass on the Atonement Pond, right? Right?
Absolutely not, Jack. This is clearly something we must do.
I have to agree with Wynn on that.
Well, I, for one, am looking forward to the opportunity of actually talking to an intellectual equal, and I'll just stride in.
You couldn't even talk until this morning!
All right. So, before we begin this, I will let you know that these are...
We all remember the time where he, like, licked his own crotch, right? Like, just...
What I'm saying.
Before we begin this section of the adventure, Ryan, we will... I will let you know these will be one-on-one conversations. So I'll ask that you mute yourselves and also turn off your sound so that you do not hear what is being said privately. Also, I give you the option, as you are going to be speaking to your unsullied visage. I am happy to play your unsullied visage for you. I could play you, and you could play your unsullied visage. Or you could try to do both, do a sort of a split personality thing. I suppose it's even possible that one of your fellow players could do it, although that does sort of defeat the purpose of a private one-on-one conversation. So we'll say that's not on the table. But it sounds like you're going first, Niall. Which do you choose?
I think that I will be myself, and I will ask you to be my
Very well
visage.
Here we go. As you step into the grove, you walk forward about 30 feet or so, and then, just as Johann said, you see a beautiful pond, crystal clear water. And as you step up to it, you see your reflection appear there. Looks at you, raises an eyebrow. Well, it would be nice to have someone intelligent to speak to for a change.
That's exactly what I said.
Of course it was.
Pleasure to make my acquaintance.
Yes, indeed.
So, what the fuck is this, actually?
Well, I know everything you know.
I
The
suppose that makes a pair of us.
only thing you have to determine is whether or not you're being told the truth.
About what exactly?
About where you are, what you've seen. Everything is, as they say, on the up and up. And why would they lie?
Well, I did feel myself die.
Did you?
Logic suggests that this is some semblance of an afterlife. I don't know what else this could be.
Well, I have seen everything you've seen, heard everything you've heard, and know everything you know, even the things that you have forgotten. But more importantly, I know and remember all of these things, free from any bias. I have seen them and know them exactly as they happen, despite passages of time or what you want to remember. And speaking about your death, I think there's something you should see. And the form in front of you suddenly convulses, and you watch the water shimmer for a moment, and then you see yourself as a wolf. You remember your death being painless, quiet, like going to sleep. But you watch as this wolf is convulsing, foaming at the mouth, eyes wide with pain, as blood begins to pour out of its ears and its mouth, and it shudders and convulses as the poison takes its effect over a long period of time. Not a short death at all, one full of pain and horror. Yourself appears again.
That's not at all how I remember it. Oh gods, was it that long?
As I said, I see and remember everything exactly as it happened. Perhaps this journey here muted the experience a bit. It was awful. But now that you've seen it, I suppose that there is no more illusion. This is where you are after you end.
And so what is it, aside from the fact that I foam at the mouth and bleed from my orifices, that I'm supposed to learn from you?
Well, I have a question.
Fire away.
I know the answer to it, but I'm curious to hear what you'll say. Did you enjoy being a wolf?
Did I enjoy being caked in my own feces? No. Did I enjoy having to ingest those culinary abortions Dusk created at the fireplace? No. Was it nice to not have to speak for a while? Perhaps. Was it nice to have a place to sleep consistently? Maybe.
I know what you liked the most about it.
Oh, do you? Do tell.
I know that you liked that the fact you were a wolf meant that you didn't have to spend any time dealing with this. And the wolf shimmers and disappears, and you see yourself, but as a child, looking at you. Because you were a wolf, you didn't have to deal with letting anyone see me, letting anyone know me. You didn't have to let anyone learn anything about me.
Well, you tried that yourself, didn't you? And look what happened.
Maybe I could have tried harder.
Well, we're both dead, so I suppose that opportunity has passed, hasn't it?
You don't really think that. And as he says this, the pond shimmers, and once again, you see yourself as a reflection. Sorry. It's true, though. I don't think that time spent as a wolf really taught you anything. But I know it's not too late. And the water ripples and your reflection dissipates.
I spend a few moments staring into the water, waiting for something else to happen. And I shake my head, and I stand, and I kick the water at its surface, and I grab a pomegranate on the way out and begin eating it.
All right. As you emerge, Niall, do you have anything to say to your companions? Or do you shrug nonchalantly? What do you do?
It's a quick chat. In and out. You'll be fine.
Didn't take anything for pomegranate.
There's a guffaw from Johan. Oh, how long you been holding on to that one?
Yeah, a moment or two.
There's an inexhaustible supply. And I will take a seat next to Johan, and I will enjoy my fruit quietly.
All right. Who is next?
I don't mind going so that the sisters can be back to back.
Well, what would Win want?
Hmm.
You're muted, Soku.
I'm feeling very apprehensive
Yeah, I don't
about
think
this,
Win
and
would.
just
I think
kinda-
Dawn would get up and be like, well, self-reflection is healthy, and or I would stand up and say, yeah, self-reflection is very healthy. I'll go next. It'll be fine. And I'll pat Dusk as I go by, and I'll be like, it'll be fine. And I will head in.
Alrighty.
And I'm also going to have you be my reflection.
Oh, yeah, that's good to know. Thank you. We were just sort of sat there waiting for each other to start.
So what's gonna happen?
Exactly. Everybody, if I could remind you to remove yourself from the presence here so we can have a private conversation. And Dawn, you step forward and indeed see in the center of this grove, not too far away from where you entered, a pond. Beautiful, crystal clear, circular pond. And as you step forward, you do indeed see your reflection take shape. It looks at you and smiles.
Hello?
Hello.
Oh. That's weird.
It is a bit weird.
I suppose I'm supposed to learn something here?
Well, I suppose if you want to, you can. I do have something to show you. And I want you to understand that I can see, well, I have seen everything that you've seen. I know everything that you've known, heard, smelled, tasted, everything. But I have the benefit of being able to recall all of these sensations and everything that happened to you with perfect clarity, exactly as they happened, even if you've forgotten, or even if you were unconscious, or even if you wish to remember how things went differently. It's a rare opportunity.
Yeah, that's... I mean, I can't even imagine the things I don't know that I don't know, if that makes sense.
Total sense. I would have said it exactly the same way. There is something I have to show you first, though. It's very important, and I apologize.
Okay.
And the water shimmers and ripples, and you look down upon yourself. As you were on the ground inside the ruins of Castle Never, you recall your death as being a calm, quiet, gentle affair. The poison taking you almost as if you were going to sleep. What you see here could be described as anything but that. You see yourself clawing at your throat, reaching for your sister, casting about blindly, clawing at your eyes as if they are on fire, blood pouring from your mouth, doubled over in excruciating agony. Your death was so horrible, you could barely force yourself to look at it. The water shimmers again, and you see your reflection looking at you with sympathy.
Was everybody's death like that?
Yes.
I stand by what I said. Him I can't forgive.
Looking back on it now, I imagine you can remember, as I can, all of the times that he revealed his true nature, but you chose to ignore it because he reminded you of Mama and Papa.
I mean, he helped us as kids. Everybody's got flaws, right? But this? Did he really show this?
Well, I don't know what he was thinking, obviously. Speaking of knowing what people are thinking, we do enjoy that, don't we? Not thinking per se, feeling.
Yeah.
Which sometimes even better, actually, isn't it?
Yeah. Getting to experience the world through other people's emotions.
Does it ever bother you that you never get to examine your own emotions?
I mean,
You can't lie to me.
If you experience the emotions yourself, you're so much more likely to get hurt. And we can feel them through other people, so isn't it most of the reward, none of the risk?
Well, you know the answer to that. And I also know that you wonder if you never examine your own emotions. How can you really know the truth of what it means to feel? It's as if you're creating a patchwork quilt of all of the thoughts and feelings around you. Something to hide under. It's time to start feeling for yourself.
I don't know if I know how to open myself up to somebody besides Dusk.
I know you don't know. But I also know that you know you must. It's the only way you'll ever truly be able to help her.
That's all I want.
Well,
That's
it's not all you want.
Well, it's a big thing that I want. She needs to find her place, and I want to help her.
Well, do that.
Well, you've given me a lot to think about, that's for sure.
You've given yourself a lot to think about.
I suppose.
And she giggles along with you as you laugh, and the reflection fades.
I'll take a second and just hold my pendant, and then play with my earring a little bit. And then I'll put a smile on my face and just head back out to the group.
All right. Any words for the group as you return?
It's great. Just a little self-reflection. Everything's great.
With that ringing endorsement, I mean, who's next?
Yeah, I'd like to roll an insight check on.
Sure thing.
And could I do it a little bit retroactively on both of them who have come out?
Sure. I mean, you could
Just like
you don't
together.
have to do it retroactively.
Yeah.
You could see whether or not Niall is reflecting on what he saw at all. You know, perhaps
Yeah.
now that it's after the fact, maybe he's a little less protective of himself.
Just got a 12, so.
A 12. Read face value. Who's next?
You're muted, so.
Muted.
I'm still apprehensive about.
Okay.
What?
I
You can do
don't
this.
know if I. When please go. I need to think.
All right. I'm going.
Righty. So once again, if you will all distance yourself and give us some privacy.
Good luck.
Thanks.
So, when as the path opens itself for you, you step in, and after a short while, not too far, in the center of the grove, just as Johann said you would, you find yourself next to a beautiful pond, circular, crystal clear water. You look in, and you see your reflection. It stands there looking at you with arms folded, eyebrow raised. You didn't want to come in here.
Did you?
I don't have a choice.
Did I?
Of course. You could have turned your back on this so-called Ashen Shepherd, wandered off into the fields, looking for her.
It's pretty clear to me she's not in the fields.
I am your true self. Which is not to say that I am anything more than what you are. I just remember everything exactly as it happened. Every sight, every sound, every taste. I remember it as if it's happening now. No distortion through years of memory. Even if you were unconscious, it happened around you, I know it. And I even remember the things that you try to forget or try to remember differently. That being the case, I think we should cut straight to the chase. I have something to show you. You remember how you died, obviously.
I do.
You don't remember it correctly. And she shows you an image that ripples onto the water, and you see yourself. The poison taking its effect. What you recall as a quiet, gentle passing was anything but. You see yourself doubled over in agony, your eyes bulging, your face turning blue, your tongue extending as you claw at your throat, trying to find air as everything within you constricts and then begins to tear itself apart as the venom of this poison takes its toll. Blood begins to trickle from your mouth as you breathe a few last gasps, the bubbles in the blood popping as they hit the ground. With a few convulsive shudders, you die after several long, long minutes of agony.
I don't think I could have ever guessed that's how it would have been. Doesn't matter now, I guess.
It's true. How you died is less important than you did. Finally got what you wanted, didn't you?
Well, suppose you could phrase it that way.
Did it ever occur to you that traveling with a group of companions who trusted you, that having a death wish might be detrimental to them?
I always put their lives before mine. I always put everyone's lives before mine.
But you only did that because you wanted to die. You wanted to die for years. You've wanted to die almost longer than you've been alive.
How are you supposed to continue to live in a world where you're a mother without a child? You wanted to die too. I think anybody would have.
You know that I don't have the answer to that question.
I know.
I miss her so much.
It makes me sick. Maybe she's here.
Is it possible that hope like that could be something that makes you want to live for once?
I want to be where she is. That's what living is.
Maybe we'll get the chance.
Otherwise, what's the point? But I've never understood why I can't feel her. Nothing. In all these years. Nothing. Not one moment or sign or feeling. What if she's nowhere?
You heard what Johan said. You're here, but you haven't arrived. Maybe she did.
Then we go on
That's something to hold on to.
till the end.
Maybe you could admit to yourself that unless you put aside this misery, she won't want to know you.
That smacks her like a truck. And she goes from steely to broken, weeping on the ground.
The image inside reaches out a hand as if to comfort you and then shimmers and dissipates.
And when Ugly cries on the ground until she just can't anymore, gets up, wipes her face off, tries to get as steely as she can again, and marches out.
Wynn emerges from the grove. Wynn, do you say or do anything?
She looks at Jack and says, "They're lying. It's about as bad as you could possibly imagine." Dusk, your turn.
Wait, no.
Wait,
what the hell?
what?
It wasn't.
She just sits down.
Wait, talk to me. Win.
You'll see.
I don't know if I want to do this.
Dusk. You can do this.
Or
Do
you don't. And then
You don't have to do this, but I believe that you can do this. And to be fair, I think what we all see is different, with maybe one small caveat, but what it's going to make you face is going to be different for all of us.
I agree with that.
Hope I don't regret this. And I'll try to straighten up my back, lift my head high. I'm gonna hate this. And she will make her way in.
Alrighty.
you got this.
Once again, please give us privacy. Toko, before we go any further, do you want to play yourself, or do you want me to play?
Can you please be the visage?
Absolutely. As you approach this pool, Dusk, just as Johann said there would be, it is there in the center of the grove. It is circular, not very large, crystal clear water. And as you step forward, you see your image appear as a reflection, looking at you with a sort of smug smirk. I'm surprised you came.
As am I.
But you had to, didn't you?
Feel as if I had no choice.
Before we go any further, you should know that I've seen everything you've seen. I've heard and tasted and smelled all of it. Except unlike you, I remember it perfectly.
Congratulations.
Without any degrading of time. I even remember the things you weren't conscious for, or the things that you wish you could forget, or the things that you remember differently. Total truth. Unbiased. That being the case, I'd like to show you something right off the bat. And you watch as the water shimmers and you see yourself as you were on the floor of the ruins of Castle Never, succumbing to poison, but instead of a slow and quiet death, instead of a quick and quiet death, like falling asleep, you see your body convulsing. You see your face racked with agony as you feel the poison slowly dissolving you from the inside out. Blood begins to pour from your mouth, your eyes bulge, your body shudders as you lose control of your arms and legs and you thrash about on this floor in the worst pain you've ever seen anything endure. Your death was awful. As you gaze at it, it ripples and you see your reflection once more take its place.
I'm clenching my fists so hard that some of my nails actually cut into flesh and start bleeding. How could he do this to her? After everything that he has done for us, to then do this.
We hate him. But there's someone we hate more, isn't there?
How would that even be possible?
Remember all of the times that she was hurt. In fact, remember when she was enduring all of the sword blows from Wynn, and it looked like she might fall?
Yes.
You felt something, didn't you?
It's always there.
Deep down where you refuse to look. Hope.
No.
Hope that this time she would fall and not stand up.
No, that cannot be a part of me.
It is. It simply is. And you know why? Because I know why. You have followed her all your life, like one of those fluffy goat things. What are they called?
Cows?
You know they're called
Damn it.
sheep. She has held you back. This power you have, this fragment, this piece of a god that is yours, your destiny, your power. You cannot fully explore its potential while you're tethered to her.
She must be
And-
more important. She has to be.
You want to believe that so badly. But the hope that she goes away is always with you. And the day that she does would be the day that you truly learn who you really are.
I reject this part of me. I will do anything I can for this to not be true.
No one has that much denial. And the water shimmers and your visage fades.
I fall to my knees, leaning down, looking straight down into the water. A fate. Just waves of emotion, of fury, of shame. I punch the water. I cannot be this. This can. I'll stand up. To start walking away with single glare back at the water and leave.
All right. Dusk emerges. Dusk, do you say or do anything?
I'm still clutching my fists. And probably at this point there's some blood actually pouring out because that was long nails clutching. That was absolute bullshit.
So nothing takes you seriously then. Great. Well then.
I'm gonna go over to her and be like, "Are you okay?" And when I ask that, I'm actually going to just send out a little tether and try to get what her prime emotion is at the same time of asking her the question.
Dusk?
It's an insight versus deception, so she can attempt to hide from it. Or she,
Right.
I guess she could choose to fail.
So for those of you watching, this is...
I am overwhelmed.
This is
This
an
is my
ability. Yeah, go ahead.
This is my empathic awareness feature of my regret domain. I can attempt to divine emotions from other creatures that I see, and it's an insight check versus their deception to see whether or not I glean their most prominent emotions at the time.
Very good. So, make your rolls, my friends.
I am overwhelmed with emotion, so not even thinking about this typical why even try against thing that Dawn always does.
So you're just choosing to fail?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Then I guess what's your primary
so what's
emotion?
your emotion?
Nauseating melding of despair and shame.
Dawn is going to tear up a little bit feeling that, and she's just gonna hug you.
I'm gonna just after a little bit of the hug, actually put my head down and lean it on.
I think I'd actually pull us
Dawn.
down so we're kneeling, hugging.
All right.
Just trying to comfort my sister.
A variety of outcomes from people stepping out of this grove. The last person among you is Jack.
Mirroring what Jack said to me as I passed, I say to him, "Good luck."
Ha! I never needed it. Thanks.
I'll just pat Jack as he goes past. It's like, you've got this.
All right. Privacy, please, my friends.
Hooray!
As you step in, or fly in, I suppose, in your case, Jack.
I promptly land and walk in.
Very well. You stroll in.
Indeed.
The center of this grove, there is, as foretold, a pond. It is circular, crystal clear, not very large. As you step to it, look down and see your reflection. Standing there, arms on its side, looking at you.
Oh.
As proud as you can imagine. And at this point, I would like to know, am I being Jack, or are you?
Just as a fun thought experiment, I thought I would do both sides of this, DM. But
Of course.
right?
Of course. I am looking forward to seeing this.
Who else? You know. Do you want me to still play to the camera, or should I throw it
Let's see.
aside?
I think a slight change in orientation, with an eye to the camera, of course, is probably going to be the best way to delineate one from the other.
But of course. All right. Oh, let's see if I've got this. All right.
I know you've got this.
Stepping up to the fountain. Now, Jack looks over the edge and sees this very Peter Pan-esque posture as he stares back into the fountain and says, "Oh, what a handsome devil. Hello, Francis. Enchanté. Je m'appelle..." Don't. I know that's not your name. I know everything about you. I am your true self. Well, then why don't you tell me what I'm doing here? Francis, why don't we start with the end? You began as soon as the poison hit your body. You were smaller than the rest, It worked much quicker.
If I may step in here, please. As you watch the form of Jack succumbing to this poison, it is indeed quicker, but it is much more violent that you recall. You felt a deep pain in your abdomen. You felt your entire body burn with fire, and you truly felt, perhaps for the first time, mortal in the worst possible way. This poison that you remember being a quiet slip into darkness was as if you were ripped apart in an instant, feeling every molecule tear, every essence of your being screaming, longing for what was lost. That is what your true self shows you regarding your death.
Well, it wasn't quite the swan song that I remembered, but, call it the bard's intuition. So, having your taste of mortality, what do you do now? Do you finally tell the truth? God, why start now? Francis, what do you want? Why are you still here? You know what I want. To be a hero. I want to save them. So, well, I'll do it. At some point. When I'm not dead. I've got 10% of a plan. Okay, fine. 5. You know, I know everything, right? All the things you forgot. Her name, the reason why you left, why you were taken. Of course. I remember all that. I said I would save her. And I meant it. I just got lost. Okay, I didn't get lost. I didn't want to be found. And there it is. So, hero who doesn't want to be found, who never says his real name, what are you still doing here? I hate you. Yes, I know. I know. But what are you still doing here? I'm not strong enough yet. I'm not strong enough yet. And so I have to get stronger. I have to have enough power to where I can save them. All of them. No matter what. You've been in the Fae long enough. You know that all things come with a cost. And I pay it gladly. These people, They're not your family. They're not your blood. Yes, they're more than that. I owe them everything. You'll see. I already have. With that, Yak kicks a pebble into the pond. The ripple distorts the image. Well, that was rather masturbatory. He walks out.
All right. As all of you now have emerged, at some point, I hope that you all get a chance to watch a recording of this, because that was amazing. Hats off to you, Ryan. Well done. My own special little show for now. Any other DMing you want to do? Because that was great. Make my job a lot easier.
I learned from the best. So.
Oh, somebody else, right?
No, you played at least 4 NPCs, I think, in the other game. While
all right, all right. As you emerge, Johan is moved from the pomegranate and has a piece of wood. One of his fingers, or finger bone, there's a section of it that is sharpened. He's actually whittling the stick with his finger bone still attached to his body. He looks up at you all and I apologize. I didn't warn you that you would see your true deaths. I don't need to know the details, but it's usually unpleasant. And, well, I've seen other souls, when they are informed of what they are going to see, refuse to go in.
Why was it different than what we remember?
The crossing, coming here from there, it dulls certain things. Death is probably one of the most traumatic things that can happen to a person, and, well, the mind seeks to cushion it,
Sort
even
of like,
up to the very last moment.
Sort of like how we can't remember our own birth.
Just so. Now, if you would all be so kind, I do think that the horizon may have changed a bit. And he points over in a direction where before you only saw a continuation of this endless plain, but now in the far distance you see on a plateau a distant city, waterfalls streaming out of it and falling over the edge of the plateau, creating a beautiful vista and your obvious destination. He points at it and said, "That is Oxvalar, city that we will be traveling to. But first, I think you all deserve some rest and perhaps some food and drink and, well, pleasant environment. Not that this isn't pleasant, but, well, a good fire, strong chairs, and a bit of ale in your bellies will surely do you good. We're off to the junction."
But we're dead. Do we need to eat and drink?
Shut up, Dusk.
Well, he reaches out and takes a pomegranate, seed, throws it up in the air, and it comes down. And he catches it in his mouth, and you watch it go tick, tick,
No. Well,
tick, 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 tick. It's never stopped me. And he gathers up his staff and once again begins to walk with purpose in a direction towards the city you now see. Towards what he has called the Junction.
Maybe something more normal will make us all feel a little bit better.
It's true. Nothing makes me feel more alive than eating and drinking, right? Right?
I just want to forget this place. Anywhere else is better.
What better thing to do than eat and drink? Huh?
Let's go.
Does anybody have anything they wish to do or say before you leave the Atonement Grove?
What kind of fruits are around?
You see pears, you see pomegranates, you see apples. There's a vine wending its way around some of the trees and a couple of bunches of grapes hanging from it.
Are there lemons?
I suppose.
Oh.
Random. So random.
I'll grab a lemon and an apple.
Love it.
Okay.
Love it.
Just reach up and pull down a lemon. You got it. And an apple. Everyone good? Everyone's done? Because
Grab me an apple.
if you are, then I will say that brings us to the end of our session tonight. And my profound thanks to you all for the craziness of that journey through the winds and then being so good with your role-playing in the Atonement Grove. I would also like to thank Diamorte, the band that is run by an individual named Drake, who has composed all of the music that you are hearing as a part of this podcast. They have composed selections specifically for this podcast. What am I talking about? Not a podcast. For this, it's late. Specifically for this stream. I'm wrong with that too. Specifically for this module, which we used on this stream. I'm going to wrap things up before I start saying really crazy things.
Sean's rolling ones. Sean's rolling ones.
I can hold it. I can hold it.
This is when things get exciting.
Oh, yeah.
This is Sean's
Insight on the DM.
self.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Sean's true self is taken.
No, you don't want to see that.
No.
You don't want to see that. Nobody wants to see that. Great number of people contributed to the Black Ballad, which is what this group is currently playing. It is for sale along with many other things at the store that is run by Storytellers Forge, the publishers of the Black Ballad. You should definitely check it out. Remember to check all the links in the chat, and remember, if you have watched and enjoy this and want to win some cool stuff, you can go to the Storytellers Forge Discord, link in the chat, mention this podcast, Severed Threads, Notes from Black Ballad, and you will be entered into a giveaway for some cool stuff from Storytellers Forge. And if you enter my Discord, medium rare, again, links in the chat, you will be able to perhaps mention this mention this stream. Oh my god. This is Severed Threads. Once again, Severed Threads, Note from the Black Ballad. You mention it in the chat and you could win some dice. And who doesn't need more dice?
Clacks.
And if you enjoy me as a DM, then you can listen to me do quite a bit of it on the podcast Echoes of Kryn.
That's actually a podcast.
It is actually a podcast. It is a D&D actual play that takes place in Dragonlance, which is actually a podcast. Thank you all for joining us. We appreciate it very much. Have a great time, and we had a great time. We hope you have a great time too, and whatever you choose to do between now and the next time we play, and we hope to see you then. Take care, all.
any truly explain to me what it means to be divine? These caterwauling holy servants have no better understanding of divinity or where their supposed power comes from than the very gods they worship themselves. Warlocks strike their deals directly with patrons. Wizards spend decades mastering their craft. Sorcerers are lucky enough to be born with it. A fighter wears their battle scars proudly to prove their mastery. Yet clerics only need pray to fall in line, recite the dogma, and raise the symbol of their god. A god who, in turn, parcels out the power of their self-proclaimed domain. My place in this drama is merely to highlight the problem, but the solution, the choice to act, must be someone else's. Perhaps it is you who will lead the divine orchestra to crescendo, or maybe you will simply sit idly by listening to the melody of a cosmos destroying itself. Either way, you will participate, willingly or not. Welcome to the Black Ballad.